Years have gone by, Xbox done fried every chance they had. Now it's just bad. Could have changed the game, giving PlayStation a bit of blame. Push them to be better, lived up to the letter. Showed them X marks the spot, but just like we thought, Xbox wasted years, brought us all to tears. Prices shooting high, brings a tear to my eye. Games just get delayed, man, they could have had it made. But now it's on Asher, Asher, oh Asher. Xbox needs your help. Years of mismanagement, old leaders face banishment. Now Asher can rescue it, change it, snap it, fix it. Asher, oh Asher, you're our only hope. We pray that this is real and not just cope. Please save the brand and look us in the eye. Say you're a real person, not just another AI. Everything became an Xbox thanks to Sarah and Phil. Audience hated it, they'd had their fill. Starfield was boring, Call of Duty still blows. Fable looks great, but will we get it? Who knows? But now it's on Asher, Asher, oh Asher. Xbox needs your help. Years of mismanagement, old leaders face banishment. Now Asher can rescue it, change it, snap it, fix it. Asher, oh Asher, you're our only hope. We pray that this is real and not just cope. Please save the brand and look us in the eye. Say you're a real person, not just another AI. Asher, we've been waiting for oh so long for someone to come and sing a different song. We're tired and sad, but you can give us hope. Prove to us and that it's not just cope. Oh, but now it's on Asher, Asher, oh Asher. Xbox needs your help. Years of mismanagement, old leaders face banishment. Now Asher can rescue it, change it, snap it, fix it. Asher, oh Asher, you're our only hope. We pray that this is real and not just cope. Please save the brand and look us in the eye. Say you're a real person, not just another AI.
Now you know what time it is. You know. You know.
I'm vibing.
I thought I heard the old man say, leave her, Johnny, leave her. Tomorrow ye will get your pay, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. Oh, the wind was foul and the sea ran high. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. She shipped it green and none went by, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. I hate to sail on this rotten tub. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. No grog allowed and rotten grub, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. We swear by our oath for want of more. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. But now we're through, so we'll go on shore, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who's Johnny? Johnny's the guy that wouldn't leave her. Keep telling him to. Damn fella just won't. I feel like we've been as clear as you possibly could be. Leave her, Johnny. Leave her. But he won't. He won't. Honestly, I'm not feeling bad for him. I think he's bringing this on himself. Call me asparagus. Exactly. Yeah, maybe he just needs DJ Khaled to come in and speak some sense into him. Hello, everyone. Hi, glad to have you.
J.O. Mitchell 6064 donated $20 through Super Chat.
Thank you.
There's a new glitch, or maybe it's a mod IDK, in Starfield today that gave me unlimited quantum essence. And it was so fun upgrading all my powers to maximum. Grav Dash and phase time made me feel like the Flash. That's kind of hilarious. Like, is it a bug? Is it a feature? Who knows? Who knows? Sometimes you get happy accidents in games. You're like, I don't think this is supposed to work this way, but you know what? I'm gonna roll with it. I had that happen one time with who was it? It was Elden Ring. It was one really tough boss, like Mesmer or something. But I had that happen in a boss fight where how sometimes 1 in 1,000 times you'll be doing a boss fight in one of those games and their AI will break and they'll just kind of stand there. And it was one of those moments where I was like, hey, if I'm being a purist, I'm going to jump off the cliff, reload, and do the fight the right way. But when you've been dying against a boss 10 times in a row and you're like, life may have just given me lemons. Maybe I need to make some lemonade with it. Why look a gift horse in the mouth, if the boss chose to freeze up, maybe it was meant to be. Maybe it was meant to be this way. And that's what we do. Only 10 times? Yeah. Only. Dude, some of those, I'm trying to remember which Elden Ring boss I struggled with the most. You know how sometimes, for you, your most difficult boss might be different than my most difficult boss, I'm trying to remember which one was the most difficult. Radon, I remember I beat Radon before they patched it. Because if you remember, there was a big patch that made him a lot easier. I remember it being a badge of honor that I beat him before the patch. There was one guy in the underworld too that was also a nightmare. I can't remember his name. I need to replay it. I go back through. I told you guys, I started another run through of Elden Ring with the seamless co-op mod. That thing's goated. That thing's awesome. It's really, really good. Fire Giant was really annoying. I do remember that being really annoying. It was a cool fight, but it's just, he slash his ankles, avoid massive AoE attacks. It's tricky when you're doing one of those games and the boss is so big you can't actually see what's going on. It's one of my frustrations. Seamless co-op is so good. Dude, I know. It's really good. That's why, honestly, it's one of the reasons why I've kept an open mind with Dusk Bloods, is because I hear a From Software game that's fully multiplayer and I'm like, but hey, full multiplayer on Elden Ring is pretty fun. Now, is it the same as what they're doing for Dusk Bloods? No, as far as I can tell, no. But I'm gonna try to keep an open mind with it. Try to keep an open mind. Thank you, Joe Mitchell. Joe Mitchell for the 20. That's very, very generous. And I'm glad to hear you're having fun with it. I'm glad to hear it. That's wonderful. Red Fajita, 34 months. Ooh, baby. A couple hours out from presenting my thesis. Thought I'd spend my last moments trying to calm my anxiety with some game talk. Much love, Luke. Well, I'm going to go even better. We're going to rage against IGN. So we're going to unify together, standing together, holding hands, singing Kumbaya raging at IGN, and what I think is now at the point of like journalistic malpractice. So buckle up. Okay. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And I'm sure you'll do great on your thesis presentation. I'm sure you're going to do it. Whenever I have a big moment like that, like a stressful thing that I've been working towards for a while, I always just try to reframe it in terms of time. So I'm like, yeah, my presentation is in 2 hours. In 3 hours, all of this anxiety will be gone. By dinner time, it'll be a memory. You know, you just have to like put yourself and realize right now it's really rough. In a day, all of this will be gone. And I'm going to feel so proud and relaxed, and it's going to be great. So just keep a broader perspective, you know, keep a broader perspective. I didn't know Mr. Candle Eater was streaming today. Drinker to you, sir. Candle drinker. Allegedly. Not eating. I wouldn't eat a candle. I wouldn't drink a candle either. That'd be bad. Anyway, let me see. Sam Cohen, thank you for the 5. Working from home with Luke Stevens is the best way to spend a Friday afternoon. Luke, did you see Bethesda patched, quote unquote, the crash issue for Starfield? I did see they fixed it for the Pro. So the Pro apparently is fixed, but the base PS5 crashing still happens for people. That's at least what I was told. Apparently the base PS5 fixes are coming probably next week, so we'll see. They did fix something. Credit where it's due. Also, credit where it's due. I saw Melissa posted this morning. Melissa from our community in our Discord for oh, my capture card is frozen. Oh, that's weird. It's just Tom Holland. Okay. I don't know why it froze. Okay, let's try this. There we go. Okay, that was weird. No Tom Holland for you. Melissa said, some of you know I am running the Boston Marathon on Monday. First of all, that's crazy. Just casually be like, I'm running the Boston Marathon. I'm so jealous. I'm going to be real. One of my bucket list items is I want to be able to run a marathon. I've been having, as you guys may have heard, I've mentioned it once, I think, but I've been having really bad like sciatica problems where the nerve that comes off your spine and runs down your leg. I don't know if it's a bulging disc or what it is, but I've been having massive problems with that. Like some days I can barely walk. It pinches the nerve so bad. It's really, really bad. I'm in like PT and all sorts of stuff for it. Long story. But I've been trying to overcome that because I want to train and do a marathon. So I'm jealous, Melissa, that you're getting to do it. It's been a lot of work with lots of Luke streams, keep me focused. Just want to give a shout out to this community for the gaming camaraderie. Gaming has been my number one means of recovery, though I won't give my bib number. Fair. And dox myself. Appreciate the support. TLDR, love seeing other people's milestones on here. Good luck, my friend. You got this. I'm thoroughly impressed and jealous, and you're gonna do great, I'm sure. Okay, so we'll check in with you on, you said Monday, so probably like Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll hear how you did. Okay, marathon, you say? A marathon? Yeah, that's crazy. Mad respect. Oh. Sorry, my lungs are broken. Spinal. Okay. So we have a number of things. Quick shout out, couple of housekeeping things. For one, Crimson Desert did pass the 5 million sale milestone. They've been actually keeping a pretty healthy pace. It's rather impressive, to say the very least. So absolutely wild. Goes again to show you IGN reviews don't matter. The points are made up, and the points don't matter at the end of the day. It's just absolutely crazy. But yeah, they continue to climb the charts, and they're doing better and better and better. Faster than Tsushima. Yeah. 5 million in 2 weeks. Very, very, very good. Again, just remember, this is a studio that has not launched like single player games like this ever. They are an MMO studio, and this is, for most people, an IP they've never interacted with. I mean, this is effectively a new IP. And so it's just very, very, very impressive. So shout out to them for that. Also, quick, I wanted to call it out because he's a phenomenally talented actor that has been in some of my favorite games. This was posted by the Witcher account officially. We're deeply saddened to hear about the passing of Alexander Morton, the voice behind Zoltan Chevay in The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So the one and only voice actor who brought Zoltan to life, Alexander Morton, has passed away, which is very sad, but his performances will live on. Will live on indeed. It's one of my favorite parts of The Witcher 3 as well. Done a fantastic job. But wanted to let you guys know about that because it came across my desk this morning. Okay. We are going to, as I said, talk about a few things today. Okay? Talk about a few things. We have a few things to talk about. It's going to be good. T-Bone, thank you for becoming a member, by the way, at the show off tier. That's very, very generous of you. Interactive storytelling also with the sub. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate you. And then Buttery... Buttery Cheeks, thank you for the 5. Luke with Marathon struggling and Horizon Hunters gathering negative reception. Does Sony truly believe Fairgame $ has a shot at being a hit? Where did I put the tab? I put the tab somewhere. Yeah, this is a good segue for me to just mention this, okay? I did pull it up. Here it is. Here it is. Found it. Okay. New mini segment thing. So Buttery Cheeks asks with a generous $5 super chat. Luke, with Marathon struggling and Horizon Hunters gathering negative reception, does Sony believe Fairgame $ has a shot at being a hit? Well, we just got a news story, in case you guys missed it, of an update to Fairgame $, which has been AFK, MIA, whatever you want to say. They've been missing for like 2 years. I think going on 3 years, actually. But as you can see, this is a report from Tom Henderson with Insider Gaming. PlayStation's Fairgames is also preparing to enter the extraction market. Documents sent to Insider Gaming indicate that Haven Studios' upcoming multiplayer game, Fairgames, will lean into the extraction shooter genre with a dedicated game mode. The game was first revealed in 2023, has sparked several rumors and reports about its development troubles, notably issues with the studio's ability to find the quote-unquote fun factor. Despite those issues, though, PlayStation has continued to invest in the game, with its next playtest scheduled for this weekend. So apparently people are playing it this weekend, which is interesting. Officially, the game was described in 2023 as, quote, a competitive heist experience, which didn't reveal too much about what the game would be. But in short, at least for one of the game's flagship game modes called Cargo Heist, it is basically an extraction shooter with an objective. Think Marathon with a contract for those who have played. The game mode's description reads as break in, find a vault code, gain access to the safe, collect cash, upgrade your skill set, and make your play. Drill, the vault is breached, be the team to grab the cargo, or set up your strategy to intercept it, and extract. The cargo must be brought to the extraction site. Use the extraction device to call your ride home. If your team fails to extract cargo, use another exit to get away. Okay. Literally the finals. That's what it sounds like to me, is effectively the finals, where there's a bunch of teams and then they go in and they're trying to get to a vault. It sounds like just one, objective. You get to it, you grab the thing, and then you get to the extraction site. The finals is different because they'll do like 2 or 3 in a round. So you have to go and get 2 or 3 different cubes of cash or whatever. And then whoever gets the majority, by the time the timer runs out, they win. But this sounds like it's just one. Like you're running, you get one thing, one group of treasure, and then you extract. An uphill climb, Fairgames has had a number of issues throughout its development, including the studio's founder Jade Raymond leaving in 2025. Reports and rumors of the game throughout its development have said that the playtesters found the game, quote, not fun. Oops. Which Insider Gaming understands has been a persistent problem throughout the game's development. Frankly, it doesn't bode well for a game when you consider that Bungie's latest game, Marathon, has struggled to retain players despite high Metacritic reviews. One thing going for Fairgames is that the game is apparently free to play, relying on in-game monetization to fund future development and cover its costs. However, initial popular games like Ubisoft's X Defiant have proven that high player counts on a free-to-play model mean little if players aren't spending. Another cause for concern for PlayStation will also be 10 Chambers' upcoming heist game, Den of Wolves, which has received rave reviews from people who have played it early, and now, after seeing both games, the similarities are stark. So much so that I had to delay writing this article because I thought the documentation I was shown was Den of Thieves. That's kind of funny that it was so similar. He thought it was the same thing. Have I tried Den of Thieves? Is this the game I'm thinking of? Because I tried, no, I don't think I tried this one. I tried another like heist game at Summer Games Fest last summer. I cannot recall what it was called, but this is apparently no, this is Den of Wolves. This is Den of Wolves. Den of Thieves game. Does he mean Den of Wolves? Is that what he means? Because looking it up, it only pops up with Den of Wolves. Yeah, 10 Chambers. So this is it. He just has the name wrong, I guess. Okay. I mean, at least in terms of tone, what we saw in Fairgame $, like if people are picking between two games based on the aesthetic. Oh, this has like destructible environments. That's kind of cool. I'm guessing that a lot of people are going to prefer that more gritty, grounded style over like whatever this is. I don't want to get copyright strikes or struck, so I'm going to leave it muted. But I just, this is like very cartoony. The joke has been like, you can take the devs out of Ubisoft, can't take the Ubisoft out of the devs, because like the monkey masks look very Ubisoft. It's like very Watch Dogs in presentation. This looks way more, I think that this might stand a better shot, but we'll see. And it also depends on which is getting to the market first. And I'm guessing what they are referring to when they say they haven't been able to find the fun is that thing where like they do a play test, they send out surveys, and then they ask you like rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how fun the game was. Would you play more if it was available to you right now? Would you get your friends on if you wanted them to play it right now? And they ask all those questions. And if they do big enough play tests where they have like hundreds or thousands of responses and all of them are like 5 out of 10 on the fun factor, that is not what you want. Because again, free to play, you can get people in to try the game for a day or two, but if they don't stay and pay, it doesn't work. Like, look at Highguard being the prime example. They had over 2 million players try Highguard. 2 million. 2 million. And they couldn't hold on to hardly any of them because people just didn't find it fun. Now, why didn't they find it fun? Well, I'm sure there's a lot of moving parts to that and a lot of answers that you could point to. And if it were an easy question to answer, I'm sure they would have solved it and wouldn't have gone defunct. You know, I'm sure they wouldn't have shut the studio down if it was an easy thing to fix. But more than anything, I think it's for Highguard, it was tough onboarding. People found it not intuitive. It was pacing wise really, really bad. It had problems, but with Fairgame $, the tricky thing is that they've been in development for ages. They announced it 2.5 years ago, going on 3 years ago. And if they still haven't found the fun factor, like, what are we doing, fam? What are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? Who is giving the okay for all these fails? Well, it seems Herman is. Herman Hoost. He, like the live service push has been his baby. It was him and Jim Ryan. They pushed it. That's been his focus. They've got Helldivers, which was a success by pretty much every metric. I think it made a massive profit. It was super successful. Marathon, as I've said with Marathon is a very niche game that was developed with a very mass market budget. And those don't mix super well, you know? Because if you have a game that's niche and gets a niche player base of like 10 to 20,000 players, that can work and you can make money with that as long as you didn't spend $250 million. You know? You know? I just, it doesn't, I don't know what they were expecting well, I do know what they were hoping for, but I don't know what they were realistically expecting. Like, I think Marathon performed about as well as you could have hoped it to perform, given the type of game that it is. As for like Fairgame, $, I just don't know where that audience is going to come from. Like, do you really think people are going to put down Fortnite to play it? Do you really think they're going to like shut down Arc Raiders and hop over to Fairgames? Like, I just don't see it. And it's something Phil Spencer talked about, Sean Layden talked about. Like at the end of the day, the gaming industry is fighting over like a fixed number of players, whether it's 100 million, 150 million, whatever. Like these companies are fighting over the same people. And so your game has to be not just good enough to hold their attention, but it has to be so good that people are willing to give up the other game they've already put hundreds or thousands of dollars into. And I don't see it. Now, to be fair, we have not seen Fairgames in 2.5 years. So it's possible that it's way better now. It's possible that they took the feedback and were like, oh, okay, and overhauled everything. Never say never. Do I think that's super likely? No, especially because we're hearing reports like within the last few months of like playtests that weren't going well. So I don't think it's super likely, but it's possible. So maybe there is something he sees in it that we don't. But like, again, this is the guy that called allegedly called Concord. He thought it was going to be their Star Wars level franchise. Like he put hundreds of millions of dollars behind Horizon Hunter's Gathering. Hunter's Gathering. Like, that's my concern, is that it's not just that they tried and like went swinging for the fences on something. It's that if his judgment is so skewed that he looks at this and thinks that this is what Horizon fans wanted, or that this is what's going to take on Fortnite, like, I just seriously doubt his ability to make rational decisions. Because it's kind of delusional. Like, any regular gamer looks at it and is like, And like I told you, I've talked to people who are involved with the game, both who have helped build it and play it. And the people I've spoken to who tried this recently were not, I mean, talk about lacking fun factor. That seems to be a common thread with these things. It sounded like it was not a game many people thought was likely to find a lot of success. Even people who have worked on it, apparently, like, they're just kind of going through the motions and are like, okay, it doesn't seem like anybody's super hyped. Like Highguard, I think there were some people who were legitimately really hyped for Highguard that worked on that team and thought it was going to be massive. I do think so. But I don't think there's anybody like that with Hunter's Gathering. So we'll see what happens with Fairgames. I mean, they did, I think our bullying worked. They did rebrand it as Fairgames instead of Fairgame $, which is what I always called it. So I'm a lot of other people too. So they did, the bullying did work. They did swap the name out. Now it's kind of, the damage is done. It is what it is, but we're going to see how they approach it. Cause this is one that's, I don't think anybody is like, oh, I've got this on my calendar. Please give us an update for Fairgame $. I don't think any person has ever said that. Which could go to their advantage. If people have just forgotten about it, they can kind of relaunch it, re-announce it. Maybe that's the goal, but they're still putting money into it. They're doubling down, tripling down on it. They clearly see something. In the past, they've seen things that aren't there, though. They've straight up hallucinated, it seems. So I'll believe it when I see it. But even being free to play, it's still a massive hurdle to overcome. There's a lot of free to play games out there that are really, really good, that people already have played and play with their friends and stuff. I'm not sure why they would drop those to jump on something like this, but we'll see. Real quick, let me finish catching up on these. Caleb, thank you for the 10. Breaking news, local streamer and video game quote-unquote journalist Luke Stevens claims the reason he sits in front of his computer playing games all day is due to medical issues. Yeah, I can't do any physical labor. I can't get a real job or anything because my butt muscle, my butt muscle is sore. It's really crippling. It's really crippling. T-Bone, thank you also for the re-up on your membership. Just wanted to say thank you, Luke, for everything you do, making my work week bearable. Much love. Much love to you too, my friend. Much love. Hopefully your week is going well. Hopefully it's going well. I mean, I guess we're pretty much like in the home stretch of it. So hopefully, you know, you're wrapping it up nicely. Oxgrim. Thank you for the super chat. Covering Pragmata, games received highly well at the moment. Yeah, I do plan on jumping on it. I have something coming up where I will have a lot of time where I need to fill and burn time. So my plan is to go through at least a good chunk of it then. I can't be too specific. But yes, I do plan on playing it. As for like whether we'll do a lot of coverage or anything on it, probably not. I think you're like the first person to ask about coverage on it. It just seems like a game that lots of people are liking. But I don't think my audience is super onto it, you know? Like if I were to do a video on it right now, I'm not sure how that would do. As for, you know, picking my battles, I told you guys I had to pick my battles a little bit. One of the options I had was whether I was going to dive into Mouse PI for Hire or focus on Pragmata or Windrose or those. And I picked Mouse PI for Hire. I am playing some Windrose on the side, so I'm trying to get my feet under me in that game too. But yeah, unfortunately, when you're a dude, just a dude instead of a company where you can assign it to other people, I only have so much bandwidth, only so many hours. So yeah, Replaced is also one I am starting and going through. As for like whether we'll do full videos on it or not, I'm not sure. I've done work and we've covered that game before. We did just like a month ago a video on the main channel about it. So yeah. Replaced also. We're going to talk about Replaced and Mouse PI for Hire in the same segment because IGN is stupid. So buckle up. Let's see. SK Under, thank you for the 10. Did you see Fairgame $sign is apparently also an extraction and apparently not very fun for playtest? Oh, you must have just gotten here because we just talked about that like the last 10 minutes. Yes, going extraction is a choice. We'll see how that goes. Again, maybe I'm the weird one. I just personally don't see extraction being like the next big thing, you know? Like I just don't see that being the next battle royale. I still think it's more niche than companies realize it is, you know? But anyway, Immortal Fish, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, my friend. Thank you, appreciate you. Much love. Much love. Thank you, my friend, and welcome everybody. If you just got a membership, get your booty in our Discord. It's a good time. It's a good time. Whoops, I scrolled too far. Wallet the Great, thank you for the super chat. Hey Luke, 2 streams ago I asked if I should get a desktop or a G14. Y'all said I should get a desktop. I took the plunge and got it. Ryzen 7 9700X, 9070 XT, 2 terabytes of SSD storage, 32 gigs of RAM. Dude, so you must have spent like 50 grand on that beast. That's crazy. I'm sure that sounds awesome though, dude. Congrats. Welcome to the PC Master Race. It's good to have you. And yeah, that will treat you right. I'll tell you what, that'll treat you right. You can't go wrong with something like that. That's a beast of a machine you just built. Sam, thank you for that 5. I think we need to accept that these current executives are just finance bros with gambling problems. They'll run out of money eventually. It's one of the poetic kind of beautiful things about it. A lot of these live service games and companies that make live service games, they make their money with monetization systems that are effectively gambling, like loot boxes, gotcha stuff, that type of thing. And then they are trying to make more of that money by effectively gambling themselves on the next live service, whatever. And so in effect, they're just doing the same thing. Like they're doing the same thing, but on the other side of the table, and then they're getting shafted in the process by it, which is just kind of beautiful when you think about it. That like they take advantage of customers in this way with like really greedy monetization, and then they suffer under the same dynamic. It's beautiful, really. It's poetic. It's poetic. And it does feel like they're gambling at the end of the day. I mean, the fact that they greenlight so many of these live service games and then like 90% of them are instant failures, I think it just goes to show you it's a lot of guesswork. It's a lot more guesswork than they would have you believe, I think. A lot more. Cesium, thank you for the 1 month membership. I did see the new trailer for Echoes of Einkrad. Maybe. Echoes of Einkrad? Let me see. Bandai Namco.
Having that night.
Ready, yatta!
We all need to work together and help each other get out of this nightmare.
This is one of those games where you see the trailer and like I can already tell it's probably 3,000 hours. Yeah, a lot of these like JRPG style games. It's like, okay, if I'm gonna play it and I'm like intrigued, I just have to prepare for this to be my game for the next like 2 years because the games are just massive. They're always huge. It's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have, but still. Yeah, very anime. Very anime. So anime. It's so anime right now. It's so hot. So hot anime right now. Hansel. Let's see. Shifei, thank you for the 2. Are you allowed to tell us where you're going? I'm not allowed to tell you where I'm going. What I will tell you is that it is the longest flight I have ever been on. So there's that. Very, very long trip. Very long trip, but we'll see. I can say where I'm not going. Yeah, he's going to space. Yeah, I'm going to space. You guys got me. You guys got me. Let's see. And then bass player, thank you for that 5 as well. Started playing Mouse PI for hire last night. Never thought I would say boomer shooter would be a breath of fresh air, but there you go. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick. Okay, ready? You ready? China. I love China. I gobble it up. Did you see the new Metro? Yes. Posted a video on the main channel about it. Looks really, really good. It's weird that it's so refreshing to see a game that is like horribly dark and gritty. Like I'm so burnt out on the Marvel writing with these games where it's like, yeah, we're a shooter, but we're also going to have like a sassy sidekick robot who makes constant jokes. I'm like, can we not? Can we not do that, please? Can we just have it be dark and like let me get immersed in how horrible the situation is? You know, it's refreshing and it looks really, really good. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm going straight to the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, exactly. I got to get some oil. Tell you what, I did see, it's probably fake, but I did see a Reddit post that was capped and shared like around online. And it was of a guy that was trying to trade commodities. And so he thought that he was going to play the oil game. So he tried to buy a bunch of oil, specifically 2,000 barrels. He thought it was like buying shares of a stock on Robinhood, right? Like he thought it was just a quick do this, it's added to my account, I can sell it to somebody else. No, he bought actual barrels of oil. So he started to get emails and phone calls and texts and everything being like, hey, you need to organize your transport. You have to have this many massive semi trucks and this many ships and tankers to transfer your 2,000 barrels of oil. He was like, so he just posted online. On a scale of 1 to 10, how absolutely effed am I right now? It's like, bro, you're pretty screwed. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. That's why you don't try that stuff. You know what? Just keep it to your Robinhood trading. That's fine. That's fine. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Yeah, it's just stupid. Please no, don't get in the Kojima soul sucking machine. We love you too much. Kojima soul sucking machine. No, I'm keeping my shoes on. I'm keeping my shoes on. He won't get to me. Don't worry. Real quick, just so you know, we don't do spam messages or all caps in chat. It gives me a headache. Okay. I'm down to answer questions, but if I see questions in all caps, we'll just put you in a little timeout because it's like, calm down. Calm down. Okay. Just saying. Christopher Burnett, thank you for the vibe. Next big live service game will be GTA 6, and we'll probably kill off a lot of struggling live service games once GTA 6 launches. It will be a bloodbath. Yeah, I mean, talk about what we were saying earlier, where there's only a fixed number of players, and they're all fighting for the same, like all these studios are fighting for the same players and the same time and attention. A lot of those players are going to stop playing whatever they're playing now to go and try GTA 6 online, at least for a little while. Whether they become like long-term remains to be seen, but still. Yeah. What's your or hey Luke, how's your day been? Also P4R predictions. I don't know if there are predictions to be had. Are they changing a lot of stuff? Have they said they're changing a lot of stuff? I guess I haven't dug into it, so I'm not really sure. If you have any predictions, I'm interested, Nilnir. I'm genuinely interested. I'm just not sure. Not sure. Okay, let me make sure I read those. Okay. Let me touch on this real quick. Okay? Because this is very stupid. And I have to get this off my chest, okay? So bear with me. This is going to approach a crash out. Okay, I have a feeling. News segment. So, fam, I am like officially, I think, up to my limit with IGN's shenanigans. Because there's an old saying, never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by incompetence. And we've covered many stories of IGN's rank incompetence across the board with so many different things. There's, of course, the Arc Raiders preview, which was unbelievably bad. Like it was shocking. Where is it? Is this it? I think this is it. Where like he was playing on a potato.
Melee weapon is a pickaxe, the same weapon Fortnite metaverse heroes dropping off of battle buses lug into combat. That's a cute enough homage, but it's only the tip of the iceberg for the ways Arc Raiders will be instantly comprehensible to those who play Battle Royale, tree-punching survival games.
He mentions multiple times like Fortnite specifically.
Ambushes against groups of foes. Whether calling out directions, overhearing sounds, or covering all windows in a room, your three-person squad will find plenty of tension waiting in most buildings. Cleverly designed maps draw the characters in. The most lucrative resource hubs are clearly marked, and players flock to the richest areas looking for food, or hover between the treasures and the extraction areas, waiting to dispossess the luckiest foragers of their well-won games.
Yeah.
The environments are passable, with the usual collection of rusty warehouses, abandoned apartment buildings, and overgrown vacant lots you'll find in a lot of post-apocalyptic shooters. Everything is serviceable, but it all kind of feels like they gave Fortnite a coat of DayZ grime and moved on.
What? It feels like they gave Fortnite a coat of like DayZ grime moved on. What game are you playing? Like, what game are you even playing? Like, this was bad. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's a contracted writer and like he just had a weird take. And they let him go along with recording footage on a potato. Like, there's this. There's also the repeated instances of them capturing footage poorly and exporting it in like laughable quality. Like again, this video was exported at 1080p 50 frames per second. I didn't even know YouTube would let you do that. Okay, but they do. Apparently, you can actually upload these videos in 1080p 50. Like it's just unreal. Other things they did with like Star Wars Outlaws, they did multiple capture sessions to show gameplay, but they compressed the video so much that people complained that the game looked bad and blurry when the original raw footage did not look like that. But because they poorly encoded it and over compressed everything just to put their logo over top, it made the game look bad. Same thing happened with Mafia: The Old Country, where they had trailers for that, which were so compressed, people thought that there was something wrong with the game when it was just their own incompetence, okay? And so previously where I've left it off is just saying there is some sort of quality control issue at IGN where they don't seemingly, I think it's the editorial staff, the people in charge that give the thumbs up, thumbs down on whether something is allowed to be posted. There's some problem where they're either not checking or their standards are laughably low, because I never would have let that video get uploaded on any of my channels, just ignoring like the bad take and bad takes. But just in terms of quality, I would never have let that go. And I'm not a 19 or 20 million sub channel with a massive online presence and website doing multi-million-dollar deals with brands. I'm not doing that. And my standard is high enough that I wouldn't let that happen. And so there's a quality standard. But at some point, you know, repeated instances of negligence or of incompetence, I think at some point, it's not acceptable anymore. Like at some point, I'm not going to just hand wave it away and be like, oh, well, they just don't know better. They're just bad at their jobs. Like at some point, if you know that there's a problem and you refuse to fix it after months or even years of that being brought to your attention, then I think you are being consciously aware and consciously negligent, which removes you from all forgiveness consideration. Like if you know there's a problem and you refuse to fix it, you don't get to then play the victim or play stupid when you get called out for something happening again. What am I referring to? Well, there's been a couple more instances. For one, we could point to like the Crimson Desert review, where they gave it a 6 out of 10. And they're allowed to not like games. That's fine. But the blowback from the review was so strong that the individual who wrote the review has already been speaking of doing a re-review of it to give it a new score. And he's apparently already talked to his editorial leadership about it. That was one of the first instances in the first last month or two. High Guard is another one where there were multiple instances of IGN playing defense for High Guard, calling out people who said this game doesn't make any sense. Why are we not seeing more gameplay footage? Why are we not seeing any of this stuff? What is going on with it? And they refused to seriously engage with any of that discourse and instead chose to lecture gamers who found the game wanting and uninteresting or bland or poorly marketed, and said that it was a problem with us. We weren't giving the game a chance. We were just hating on it. We wanted the game to fail, and that means we're not real gamers. They were trying to call people tourists, gaming tourists, if they thought that something was weird about this game. Like, the gaslighting was off the charts. A lot of contempt for the average everyday gamer in that. And then you see other things like this, where the Mouse PI for Hire review, I was like, okay, a 6 out of 10. I think the game's fantastic. I don't know how you get to a 6 out of 10, but okay, let's see. Dude, I thought this was a joke. Somebody clipped this and showed it to me. I thought it was literally a meme, but no, this is actually what it says, okay? One of my major problems, this is from the IGN review of Mouse PI for Hire. Bear in mind, this is a game where you play as a private investigator mouse, where you're hunting down a crime syndicate in a 1934 setting. It's filled with cheese puns, and it's written to be irreverent and silly. It's rubber hose animation. It is cheesy. Exactly. It's cheesy. This is what he unironically wrote. Okay. Again, I cannot stress this enough. This is actually in their review. This is actually here. That brings me to one of my major problems with Mouse PI for Hire. Look, I hate to be the guy who brings up ludonarrative dissonance in a video game review in the year of our Lord 2026. And if you're rolling your eyes right now, I can't blame you. Okay. I sense a but. But it's an actual issue here. Okay, ludonarrative dissonance, if you're not familiar with this term, that's fine. Basically, ludonarrative dissonance is this thing that happens in some games where, like, to use an example, often Uncharted 4 is brought up as or just Uncharted in general, where you're playing as a guy, Nathan Drake, who's supposed to be a good guy, but as you go through levels, he's killing dozens or hundreds of enemies, right? So it's like he's a good guy, but he's a mass murdering psychopath, if you think about it that way. What most human beings do who play video games and like playing video games is they go, it's a video game. It's a video game. Like, I'm down to talk about it, but there are certain things in games you just kind of have to turn your brain off to. Like, this is the same energy as being like, well, I can't take The Last of Us seriously. The player doesn't have to take a bathroom break ever. Like, it's ridiculous. Have you ever seen Arthur Morgan go and sit in a porta potty? No. See? It's because the writing's bad. It's like, no, it's a video game. He says, Jack Pepper is a PI who kills more people. He kills other anthropomorphized small animals throughout the course of the game because it's a video game about mice and cheese puns. He kills more people in a single mission than Philip Marlowe has in every book Raymond Chandler ever wrote combined. I don't care how corrupt the cops are. A private detective can't break into a police station and slaughter them en masse and then go about his day. I think this also shows potentially that there's lines of dialogue in the game. No spoilers. But there's lines of dialogue in the game that refer to those police officers, I think the ones he's talking about, as being members of like this sort of criminal organization that are disguised as cops, that are dressed up as cops. So I'm not even sure if they're actual cops in the mission he's talking about. I'd have to go back and double check. But also, it's a video game. In one particularly nonsensical scenario, again, this is a game about mice and cheese. I just want to keep stressing this. In one particularly nonsensical scenario, Jack inadvertently burns down an opera house to save a guy running for mayor, and he ends up fighting an opera singer and shoots her. Is she dead? Did I just kill an actress for being angry I burned down her workplace? If I didn't, have I left her alive and unconscious inside a burning building? Mouse PI for Hire doesn't tell me, and it doesn't seem to care either way. It's a video game about a freaking mouse detective in 1934 making cheese puns, fighting anthropomorphized mice, alligators, bugs, while making fondue puns. Like, whenever Jack Pepper gets back from a mission and he wants to take a load off, he drinks a shot of fondue. But they never explained why he fought the opera singer in the opera level. Like, it's moments like these where, like, this pseudo-intellectualism, it's kind of just frustrating. And I've been guilty of this same kind of thing before. Like, when I was doing these critiques, where sometimes I was trying so hard to find something to critique, something to poke at, you know? Excuse me. That sometimes I would end up poking holes in something that didn't have a hole in it before, like kind of making my own problems. And that's the problem with poking holes when you're reviewing something that you eventually learn to avoid doing, and you kind of get the experience to not do it anymore, is that you'll end up poking holes in something that didn't have a hole because you just wanted something to poke at. You wanted something to be able to talk about. And this is one of those instances where it's like he's upset that the game is not written like The Last of Us when it's a game about mice and cheese. Like, I just, at some point, I can't take this seriously. You know, like, it's actually ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. Okay. And this is why it goes back again to the editorial staff. If I asked, like, let's say hypothetically, I asked Jacob or something, hey, Jay, we're going to try something. I'm going to be the editor. You're going to write a review for this game. If he brought this to my desk, I'd be like, I'm not sure I want this review representing my brand because I think I think a lot of this is stretching. Like it's a lot of stretching. Yeah. So this one is good. What is it? Cesarion, thank you for the message. Why is Kratos so angry? Why is he killing people? Why doesn't he just talk to them? Yeah, dude, it's the same energy. It's the same energy. It's like, no one ever stopped to ask why Donkey Kong kidnapped Princess Peach and why Mario felt the need to save her. Does Mario have a white savior complex? Maybe it's not his place to save the princess. Maybe the princess can save herself. Women can do everything a man can do. She doesn't need a plumber. You know? Why is a plumber saving a princess? Shouldn't he be fixing pipes? I'm just asking questions. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. But the coup de grace of all of this, okay? This is going to actually, if it doesn't piss you off, I don't know what does. This is the moment where I get like, actually, what the hell are we doing? And I cannot read this. And this is one of those moments where I really, really struggle to explain this away as anything other than like malicious or so grossly incompetent that it's effectively malicious. Okay, what am I referring to? Well, there's this game that just came out that's really good, by the way, that you should absolutely check out. You've probably seen little snippets of it in trailers. It's called Replaced. It's this like 2.5D art style. I've talked about it before. It was a highlight of Summer Games Fest 2 years ago. Finally released. It's out. You can play it now. It's on Game Pass if you want to try it. Really, really good. Okay. In the game, you play as your character is like an AI trapped in a human body, exploring an alternative reality 1980s setting. It's very like cyberpunk, and it's very cool. Very cool. What did IGN do? IGN wrote a review where they gave it a 7, LOL. Same score as Concord and Highguard. But they posted this as the headline of their review. Replaced is a gripping and gorgeous 2.5D action platformer, even though this AI-based adventure could do with a system update to completely iron out the bugs. AI-based adventure. If you work in any tech sector or any online anything, you know putting AI based in the title of the article makes it really sound like it's an AI game. Like they used AI generation to make the game. That's what it sounds like. It's an AI based game. What do you mean? So naturally, people start going in the comments like, I was looking forward to this. I didn't realize it was AI based. I didn't realize that. I guess I'm canceling my pre-order. I'm doing all. People started reacting to it based on the headline, which is very, very misleading. And you can see immediately readers added context. The term AI-based in IGN's review refers to the game's story theme about artificial intelligence, not AI used in development. The developers confirmed it was 100% handcrafted with no generative AI. And they've actually had to go on, and you can see they've had to start replying to people on this original post, which has since been deleted. IGN did delete it. And but I would say the damage is already kind of done. And they're having to go through all of this and say, just to clarify, the game does not use any generative AI. What IGN is referring to is the story that's about an AI in an alternative 1980s America. It's 100% handcrafted by humans. And you can see, like, it's just insane. Like, I really struggled to read into this any other thing than either the editorial staff is so disconnected that they didn't even read through it,
$20 through Super Chat.
or they don't care to the point when they should, and it's unacceptable.
Dad was killed by an anthropomorphic mouse detective. It's really traumatizing for me. I mean him. He still has nightmares and I wake up.
I mean, he wakes up crying. Yeah, this is Will's mom. He didn't get it. His dad was killed by an anthropomorphic mouse detective. That explains it. It's trauma. It's generational trauma. Wow. Thank you for the 20. Yeah, it's just like and then people are like jumping on lorem ipsum. If you don't know lorem ipsum, this like the Latin text that's often used as placeholders. Now people are trying to say like, it's definitely lazy. Shame. Sorry, it's so stupid. Telling devs of a video game while you're like sitting on your couch tweeting, be like, you should be ashamed of using placeholder text. Not AI generated placeholder text, like normal Latin phrases that are used as placeholders across all of academia and everything. Like, it's just crazy. It's really funny. But again, this is one where I cannot just explain this away as oopsie. They even did it in the subtext of their review score. Sad Cat Studios should be commended for crafting such a gripping and gorgeous 2.5D action platformer, even though Replaced is one AI-based adventure that could do with a system update. This, for the reviewer to not realize what this sounds like, is unacceptable, because I feel like anybody could realize what that sounds like. But for the editorial staff to not notice it and not call it out and ask for it to be tweaked is even more egregious and more ridiculous and unacceptable. This is why like so many gamers don't just feel like IGN is incompetent, but feel like at times they are particularly malicious towards certain games. Like the fact that they are so disproportionately opposed to like Black Myth Wukong. They wrote all sorts of hit pieces against that studio. I showed you guys that one. That was the most insane thing I've ever read, where they put together this article in 2023, and their final piece of evidence, like they were trying to say that the developers were bigots and you shouldn't play the game and you should like basically trying to like get the game canceled. And the final point, or one of the final points that they bring up is specifically when they bring up the logo of the game. Let me just show you. Okay. The studio is called Game Science. They said the studio was sexist because the logo looked like a sperm. They said that logo looking like a sperm was therefore justification for them saying, like, part of their slate of evidence, and it was like their final nail in the coffin, was why you shouldn't engage with them because they're sexist. Look, they made a sperm logo, which is not what it is, to be clear. It's a projectile from like a gun, like a laser weapon thing. It was just like insane, but it was like their final piece of evidence to wrap up their whole article. And I was like, guys, I think we're actually getting insane. For one, even if it is a sperm, how is that sexist? Like if it was a picture of two fallopian tubes, would that be sexist? Like, what are we doing, man? It's delusional. But that's my point, is that the editorial staff at IGN is so laughably not just bad, but like, I don't know if it's that they're just trying to farm outrage for clicks. That very well could be what it is that they knew that this article would start spinning around, calling it AI based. And so they decided to run with it because they knew that it would get easy clicks. Maybe that's what they were doing. Same with the game science stuff. They knew that that was ridiculous. But like if somebody brought that across my desk and I was reading it, like, you can't be serious. You actually want us to publish this, even as an op-ed? Like, really? You want us to put our title on? We're not doing that. Like, if I were the editor, I'd be like, what are we doing? This is why no one takes companies like IGN seriously anymore. Why people see IGN and immediately start going, oh, well, you can't spell ignorant without IGN. You can see that they post that they gave it a 6 out of 10. That just tells me it's a great game. IGN stepping on a rake again. Nothing new. Like at some point, IGN should wake up. And this is not just IGN. This is true of a lot of different companies. But these companies like IGN, PC Gamer, whoever, Eurogamer, they should all wake up and realize, like, if they want to be taken seriously by their own customers, effectively, their readers, they have to raise their standards. Like, they cannot keep doing this. The fact that some dude sitting in a basement has higher video standards than they do is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. They should be going and investing heavily. It should be like a freaking NFL production whenever IGN does any coverage of anything. Instead, you're lucky if their video is over 50 frames a second. You're lucky if it's not compressed to high holy hell. You know, like it's just insane that they keep doing this, and there is no desire seemingly from editorial staff to get any major improvements made. It's ridiculous. It's unacceptable, and they should be ashamed of themselves, because even if you say that the author of the replaced review did not mean to say AI based in that way, even though a normal reading of it implies that the game is made by AI, even if you say it was some sort of oversight and they didn't catch it, again, the editorial staff still should have caught it. But even if you say somehow everybody was sick with the flu and was high on pot noose when they were reviewing all of this, there should be some amends, because like that very likely cost replaced sales. Hopefully, if you're watching this segment and you hear all of this, it gets you interested enough to go check out the game on Steam, go check it out on Game Pass or whatever, and maybe download it and play it yourself. Hopefully that's what happens, and we can level the playing field a little bit and help them out. But no doubt that IGN article, the way they posted it, caused people to cancel it from their wish list and to walk away from it, even though they were interested, because they thought it was an AI generated game based on IGN's reporting. Like, this is where it's, whether like whatever the justification is for it happening, the fact that it happened harmed the studio, harmed this small team making a video game that is great. It harmed them because of their incompetence. That's why I don't feel bad about describing them as like a gang of buffoons. Occasionally you get a solid video from IGN and it's like, what? This video is exported at 4K 60? This video has like proper voiceover without typos and weird grammar mistakes? What? Like, that's why it's shocking. When they do the bare minimum, it's considered an overwhelming success for them. But they still keep landing massive contracts with these companies to promote their games, do IGN first looks and all that. It's insane. It's unacceptable. And I beg and plead, studios, stop giving IGN your time and attention. Reach out to either smaller outlets, individual creators, whatever you need to do. Hell, reach out to New Game Plus. Reach out to us. We can help you too, because at least we know what the hell we're doing. Even if you don't give us, you know, the opportunity, go to someone else, because IGN sure as hell is not giving you the right treatment. They keep doing this kind of crap, and whether it's intentional or not, it's unacceptable either way. Tell you what. Look here, look, listen. Anyway. IGN sucks. There you go. End of story. Okay. Where did I leave off? 3 times as a pattern, IGN is being malicious. There is, I think, a standard for like malicious incompetence, you know, where like, if you have like a dog that is really violent or something, like bites strangers, and that dog is in your backyard, if you are just so incompetent that you regularly leave your gate open to the point where the dog keeps breaking out, that will land on you and you will be punished for it. Even though you could say, I honestly didn't mean to leave the gate open. It was an honest mistake. At some point after you've done it repeatedly, the blame lands on you. This literal thing just happened to my in-laws. They have chickens. One of the neighbors down the street has like some husky dogs, and those huskies have broken out of that backyard multiple times, and every time they've gone and massacred these chickens that my in-laws have. And after the first time, it's an accident, whatever, the neighbors came, replaced the chickens with little chicks, like, you know, didn't do a lot of good because they were fully grown adult chickens, but whatever. Trying to make amends. It happened again. They broke out and they rushed over and they ate a bunch of chickens, and then they started running like down the highway. And thankfully, the huskies didn't get hit or anything, but they very well could have. And so guess what happens? The police come, animal control comes, they take the dogs away from that family who is so incompetent they can't take care of the dogs, and it's putting other people and animals in the neighborhood at risk. So they take the dogs away from that family, and now they're facing like court charges for stuff. I don't know what the exact charges are, but like they're facing actual like severe penalties for their incompetence at keeping their damn gate closed, you know? So this something happens in real life too, but it also happens with like editorial standards with a gaming publication, where it's just at some point your incompetence is not an excuse anymore. You know, at some point it lands on your shoulders. Yeah, bad training. Well, just bad ownership. I know Huskies are a lot to handle, but that's why you need a freaking gate that latches closed. And if you know that your dogs are so smart that they're able to open the latch or something, if that's how they're getting out, put on another lock. Go to Ace Hardware for $5, grab a new one, plop it on there so they can't break out. If Romeo was starting, like Romeo started to dig by one of the fence posts that I just had put in. You know what I did? I went, got more gravel, poured it in, and I put like some big paving stones along that piece of the fence so he can't dig there anymore. It's like 45 minutes. Not a big deal. It's just not that big of a deal, but it takes a little bit of effort. And that seems to be what IGN doesn't want to do. Luke paid someone to do that. I pay them to do the fence. I don't like doing fences, but I'll do like gravel and yard work stuff. But no, I don't like replacing fences. The wind is so bad here that the fences break like once a season. It's really annoying. I have a guy though. I have a fence guy. He's really good. Gives me good deals. Anyway. Yeah, Spine. Yes, we've talked about Spine before. Spine is baller. I got to try it last year and it was really good. I'm excited for that one. Okay. Let me close this. Okay. I think it's time. It's time we talk about the elephant in the room. Do you guys know what the elephant in the room is? See if anybody guesses it. Jason, thank you for 5. Currently going through my backlog of 40 plus games, and Mouse PI is tempting me to put it in the backlog on hold and try it out. Dude, it's really good. It's really good. Let's see. Ron D. Great Jr., thank you for the 2. Do people just do the opposite of IGN, maybe on purpose? Literally, if you want to be successful, that's how you do it. Orange Jacket, thank you for the 2. Stop Killing Games Parliament hearing is on YouTube. Yeah, dude, they actually are getting the ball rolling. Hopefully they get some actual stuff passed. That'd be really cool if they were able to do that. That'd be really cool. Yeah, so elephant in the room, candle drinking. How dare you? Yeah, there's a good number. There's a good number of guesses in here. Sorry, my lungs are still bad. I might have bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. Hold on, I need to see that. I might have bronchitis. No joke. I got bronchitis. Here.
Describes her horrifying experience when she first realized the complex was on fire.
This is me right now.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I got bronchitis. It's bad. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, okay. So, new segment. Time for a segment where Luke doesn't really tell you a whole lot, but we're still going to talk about it. Guys, it seems we're almost here. There. Words are hard. There is reporting coming from Tom Henderson. You guys have been asking about it in chat all morning. We'll address it. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced allegedly releases July 9th, 2026. You can see that Insider Gaming can reveal that the upcoming Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake titled AC Black Flag Resynced will release on July 9th. Despite original plans for the game to be revealed today, April 16th, so yesterday, Ubisoft has decided to postpone the announcement until next week, while media and content creators received roughly 30-minute presentations of the game earlier today. While we won't spoil what the game has in store, we can say it's been completely reworked with a bunch of new content and updates, and honestly, it looks awesome. But one thing was made clear, despite the rumors and ramblings, Black Flag Resynced is not an RPG, they say. Quote, this remains a solo adventure and character-driven experience. It is not an RPG, the presentation revealed. And that Kenway statue that leaked around the game's original release date, that's still happening too. This was the one... There was also a stream where they were... I think it's the guys from Pure Arts that make these gaming models. If you've never seen Pure Arts statues... They do incredible work, like really good. Like seriously, look at these. Dude. Like they do incredible work. It's $1,000, but I get why, you know, like they do incredible work. But they were doing a live stream where they were talking about all sorts of stuff and what they were doing. And one of the people at the company let slip. They're like, yeah, we might have something new for Assassin's Creed soon, huh? And turns to like his coworker and he's like, oh, never mind. And so he let it slip a little early. But yeah, anyway, they do really, really, really good work. Like Pure Arts, they know what they're doing, man. These models are crazy. This is quarter scale too. It's wild. It's a massive statue. Anyway. So they shared that. That's what Insider Gaming puts out. But there was also another oopsie. Or honestly, it might have been intentional at this point. I can't even keep track of it anymore, if I'm being real. But there was also a banner. You guys were sending me this in droves. A banner that showed this on the Ubisoft launcher. And the banner just read Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, set sail for the Caribbean, replay this classic swashbuckling adventure on day one with Ubisoft Plus Premium. And then they showed this artwork as well, which the gold flare looks similar to what we've seen with like, I forget what they call it. It was like one of the bonuses. I think Shadows had it. Mirage had it too, I think. They got, we've seen that previously, but this is what they, I think, accidentally shared early. Somebody forgot that they had it scheduled to go live, you know, on the launcher. But it seems like we're in the home stretch, that we're actually very, very close to when we're actually going to see like a big public reveal and all of that. As you can see, there's been a lot of delays with this. They've restructured a bunch too. They've given it plenty of time. I think it was originally leaked and suggested it was going to launch last year. But it got delayed as part of all of these things. But it looks like we're like actually in the home stretch. Like we're actually close. So we will keep an eye on it. We're in the home stretch. I had to bring it up and address it because of course you guys have been asking about it. There's been plenty of stuff reported. But I'm sure the time will come relatively soon when we'll be able to deep dive into all of this with a lot of goodies. Okay. I'm sure. Next week, yeah, it sounds like next week is when they're expected to show some stuff. Yeah, the announcement until next week. So we will see what that looks like. We'll see what that looks like, okay? We'll see what it looks like. Just a quick little teaser for you. There you go. Yeah, they said it's not an RPG, which that was one of the big concerns, was that it was going to be basically AC Shadows, but pirates, you know, and it sounds like that's not what they're doing, according to the reporting. So we'll see. Sorry, my lungs are still dying. The other thing I wanted to touch on is, if we have time for this, I'll get into that. Yeah, we might have to get into that. There's, of course, Lego Batman footage, and any chance to talk about Lego Batman, we have to talk about Lego Batman, don't we? Don't we? I feel like we should. I feel like we should talk about Lego Batman if we have the chance. But I want to talk about Xbox and some of the stuff that's happening in the background there too, because there's a lot. There's a lot, man. There's a lot. Yeah, Bloodborne movie. Yeah, Jacksepticeye's actually doing it. I'll be real. Sorry. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm also worried that like they're gonna start working on this Bloodborne movie and it's just gonna get canceled after 6 months, and they're like, because you know at this point, I'll just believe it when I see it. I know they said they're doing it and that it's like not that far away, but I still, it just seems like Bloodborne is one of those IP that you just can't ever get across the finish line. But we'll see. I hope it gets across the finish line, but we'll see. I was also kind of surprised to see that Jacksepticeye was working on it. You know, I was like, huh, okay. I'm not mad about it. It's just surprising. What am I drinking? It's a Zevia, strawberries and cream. Very good. 0 calorie little soda. Very good. Okay. Should we talk about this? Should we talk about this? Let's talk about this. Talk about this. Hey, Chet, let's talk about this. I'm going to do the whole segment as XQC. The whole thing. Okay. New segment. We're going to listen to some people talk about what they're doing differently. La, la, la. Okay. So, fam, we have a couple of things to talk about in the world of Xbox. I am patiently and cautiously optimistic because, as I've said many times, the best thing for the health of the industry is a healthy industry across the board. So if Xbox is healthy, PlayStation's healthy, Nintendo's healthy, Steam is healthy, everybody wins because there's competition that forces prices down. When people feel like I could go with an Xbox, I could go with a PlayStation, that forces both sides to be more competitive, okay? You should hope that Xbox figures their crap out. And it does seem like there is a lot of very serious work happening behind the scenes to overhaul some of these systems. And it also sounds like, and it doesn't sound like this is even that, like they're not being coy about this point. It seems like the inner workings of Xbox were pretty antiquated and messy in the aftermath of Phil Spencer's departure. So this report comes from Asha, or from The Verge, talking about Asha Sharma making her big decisions on Xbox Game Pass and the Xbox platform. As you can see, Microsoft's new Xbox head or chief has had a busy couple of months after promising the return of Xbox. Asha Sharma met with publishers at the Game Developer Conference in March and has also been on the road visiting Microsoft's own game studios and product teams in recent weeks. Sharma, who used to work in Microsoft's core AI division, is very much in learning mode and talking to as many people as she can about everything before she makes strategic decisions on the future of Xbox. Some of those decisions are about to be made very soon. Sources at Xbox tell me Sharma has been looking closely at Game Pass pricing recently with a view to offer a wider range of pricing models. Sharma offered or admitted that the Game Pass offering, quote, has become too expensive for players in an internal memo sent earlier this week. We touched on this, but basically she's identified that $30 freaking a month for Game Pass Ultimate is too much. It's too much. It doesn't work. So she's allegedly been looking at ways to adjust that. The most obvious way, remove Call of Duty Day One. Make Call of Duty Pass or whatever. Like, I don't care. But like, I don't want to pay an extra $5 a month just to help cover the expense of developing Call of Duty. I'm not going to play Call of Duty. I don't need Call of Duty. I don't want it in my Game Pass offering. Take it out and I pay less. And I'm happy, right? Same thing. You could do the same thing with like a World of Warcraft pass. You could do different little bitty things like that if they wanted to. I would prefer a more streamlined offering, but if they're going to offer cheaper options while trying to build out a wide variety of options, that's probably what they're going to do. There's also been rumors that they're going to do like an ad-supported free version. I don't personally think that's ever going to happen. I don't see how that would work. Like, how do you serve ads to people? You have to watch a minute ad before you start playing your game, and then you watch an ad every hour or every 45 minutes. I don't know. Maybe some people like that. I genuinely don't know. Maybe people in chat can say, like, I'm trying to think, in the times where I was really broke, would I have gotten Game Pass free if it meant like 2 minutes of ads every hour or 3 minutes of ads every hour? Would I do that? Honestly, when I was like really, really broke, I might have. Especially if it meant I could play like brand new games that I couldn't afford for 70, but all I had to do was like, let's be real, you're just gonna like boot it up, the ad starts, and then you're gonna go to the bathroom. Or go get a drink or a snack. Like, I don't think anybody's sitting there. But that's also probably why they wouldn't be able to do that. Because I think every advertiser would know, no, people aren't going to actually watch. They're going to pull out their phone and be on their phone. And then, they could do the really toxic thing. You know how like in school, when you would have, or like work trainings, where they'd be like, okay, watch this video, this work training video. I remember they did this when I worked at Best Buy. I had to sit through this video. That's the most boring thing ever. It's like a 15-minute video. And then it ends. And you know what they do? They send you a list of like multiple choice questions. And it doesn't have to do with the content, because you can probably guess your way through the content. It was like specific things like, what color shirt was the man wearing? How many children did the lady have? Stuff like that, where it was just little bitty things to see if you actually sat and watched the whole thing. It was really, really, really annoying. Anyway, maybe that's what they do. They do ads that then you have to like answer a quiz for, and that's how they do it. Hopefully not. That just took me back. That was a flashback. Anyway, so as you can see, quote, Game Pass is central to gaming value on Xbox. It's also clear that the current model isn't the final one. This is another way of saying the current model is not working, so we got to do something differently. Player behavior, content economics, and markets vary too much for a single approach to work everywhere, said Sharma. Quote, short-term Game Pass has become too expensive for players, so we need a better value equation. Long-term, we will evolve Game Pass into a more flexible system, which will take time to test and learn around. I understand one potential option under consideration is Game Pass subscription tier, which only includes games from their first-party studios. This would fall under a more flexible system that Sharma hints at. Bundles could help here. I reported in February that Microsoft is looking at ways to bundle third-party services like Game Pass into Game Pass subscriptions. Netflix co-CEO Greg Peters told The Information last month that he and Sharma had kicked around ideas for partnering on subscription bundles. This is basically just turning into cable TV all over again. Being real, okay? Being real. This is just turning into cable. Do you want the Game Pass add-on subscription? If you want that, you can add it to your Netflix subscription and you'll save 7% on each one as long as you agree to a 12-month plan. Like, it's stuff like that. I would not be surprised if they do that. So they're exploring that. They're, of course, Sharma quickly reversed this is an Xbox strategy and everything. But look at this, okay? Sharma looks set to continue making even bigger Xbox platform investments with the next-gen Project Helix console on the horizon. In her internal memo this week, Sharma lays out what she learned about the Xbox platform. Quote, this is very, very interesting. It's clear that our ambitions require deeper investment in the Xbox platform foundations than we've made before. Today, we operate across dozens of surfaces, pipelines, and release models without a shared code repository or common data foundation. As a result, quality and speed too often depends on heroics instead of systems. We also lack consistent infrastructure and experimentation, attribution, and learning, making it harder to know what's working and improve quickly. On the product side, our front end is a set of experiences built at different times, where discovery, relevance, and social are not first class, and players have to work to find what to do next or who to play with. These are all true. I mean, that's all true. Their UI on their console dashboard is pretty antiquated. It was actually, we kind of forgot about it, but you remember when they announced the next-gen Xbox and PlayStation 5, they had overhauled the UI significantly with the PS5, even to the point where a lot of people don't like it. I still prefer the old version of the PS4 UI, if I'm being real, but they overhauled that UI. It looked different. It looked fresh. Xbox's was basically the same. You know, basically the same. And so things haven't really progressed, and they're finally adding like quality of life improvements to it, but that's something that they just didn't do for the last like 5 years. I think it just wasn't a priority for them, you know? The solution to these Xbox issues is a deep investment in engineering and data foundations, according to Sharma. I'd expect it also means a more unified Xbox UI across console, PC, and cloud. Xbox Cloud Gaming's new design already includes plenty of new animations, and Sharma also wants to accelerate, quote, a more connected PC experience with stronger discovery, relevance, and social, so players can move across games, devices, and friends without friction. It will be interesting to see what impact Sharma has on Project Helix, Microsoft's next console. The next Xbox will play PC games and lead in performance, but it's still a mystery how Microsoft will tackle the interface for Project Helix, especially if Windows is running at the core. If Microsoft is leaning towards its Xbox PC app to help with Project Helix, then it has a lot of work ahead of it. It's true. The Xbox PC app is rough. And like half the time you try to download something and it just doesn't download. You go to like the support, like I tried to download this game, it won't download. Like, no, you just have to let it sit there for like 45 minutes and then eventually it'll start downloading. It just takes a while. It is 2026 and you can't get it to consistently download a game when I press download game. Like, what are we doing, dude? What is actually going on? Xbox Ally handheld shipped with the Xbox PC app that felt like a beta experience. While it has improved in recent months, it still feels like it was designed with a mouse and keyboard in mind rather than a controller. Phil Spencer admitted in 2018 that Microsoft had a ton of work to do on Windows for PC gamers, and I'd argue that 8 years later, that's still the case. It's now down to Sharma to figure out the next path for Xbox and PC. That's insane. That was 2018. I remember him saying that and being like, okay, good. We're finally getting good Xbox on PC. 8 years ago. Eight. It's insane. But what else is going on? What else is going on with this? Well, let me show you. Matt Booty, he is the chief content officer. He's one of the only people that stayed behind after everything went down with Phil and Sarah Bond. He was previously in charge of all the studios, but Phil and Sarah both are gone. Matt remains. And he just sat down and did a 25-minute podcast. Now, this is basically like Disney does these things where they have the Disney whatever experience podcast. If you've watched that Jenny Nicholson video on the Star Wars Hotel, you know what I'm talking about? Where it's like a corporate-owned podcast where they sit and it's just a marketing event. It's not an actual podcast, but it's presented as one. So it's an ad in the shape of a podcast, just so you know before you go into this what you're seeing as we go through this. But this is one of the few times that Matt Booty is openly discussing strategy and what's happening, what their goals are. It's very, very interesting. Windows 11, Lamau, I mean, the fact that they are relying on Windows 11 to run the next generation console, I'm a little skeptical of how that'll go, but we'll see. Adidas, thank you for the 5. Game Pass promise is every first party game day one. If they take out COD, they have to take others. In 5 years, there'll be 0 first party, slippery slope. Well, the problem is right now, it's not working. So they may keep Game Pass Ultimate, which has everything, but then they'll go down to Game Pass Premium, Game Pass Premier, and it's like $20 and it just doesn't have Call of Duty. So they'll find a way to balance it. But yeah, what's clear is that I think what they probably saw was the moment that they put it at 30, they saw a ton of people bail from their Ultimate memberships. I know I did. I have like 1 or 2 friends that I can think of that bailed as well. And so I'm sure it's in the like hundreds of thousands or millions of people that did. And so for them, I think it's just, if they want people like me back, yeah, just lower the price so it's not insane anymore. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. I did. Yeah, I see. There's plenty of other people who also did, because that's the line. It's like $30, man. This is really getting hard to justify. It just is. Like when Game Pass was $7 and had all the games you needed, okay, that's a no-brainer. Like I'll just keep that on forever and I won't think about it. When it gets to 30, you're like, bro, like I need to play one AAA game like every 2 months. Am I realistically getting that with Game Pass for it to pay for itself? Probably not. And so just really quickly, it doesn't make sense anymore. But anyway, literally every friend of mine that had Game Pass jumped ship at that point. Dude, imagine the data they had. Imagine if they just see the chart drop off a cliff when they did that. I think for Phil and Sarah, it was kind of too late. They thought people would go along with it, but they raised price. People forget they raised the price 50% in one go. 50% price hike. That is not inflation. That is not energy costs are difficult right now. That is, oh God, jack the price up. That was a desperation move. Tell you what. It's greed. Yeah, I think what happened is, as it was reported, I think the upper echelon at Microsoft said, we need 30% margin on your company. And they were like, oh, crap. We can't do that in any clear way. I guess we'll just crank the price up. And they were hoping people would keep their membership, and they didn't. But anyway, let's see what Matt Booty had to say. I've not listened to this yet. I'm not sure what he's going to say, but people told me it was interesting. Let's see.
Games in this podcast range from E to M. Hello, and welcome to the official Xbox podcast. We've got a special episode for you today, coming off of a lot going on here at Xbox. We just announced our double feature Xbox Game Showcase and Gears E-Day Direct coming this summer. Killing the online multiplayer Pottery Party Brawler from Double Fine, I can't believe I got that, is out next week. And present content creators just got hands-on previews of Forza Horizon 6 for the first time. That's a lot, and I'm nearly out of breath, so it's really good that I've got friend to the podcast, now with a new title, Xbox Chief Content Officer, Matt Booty. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, I'm super impressed you rattled off the multiplayer Pottery Party Brawler.
Online multiplayer party. You know what? When you think about it, it gets to be too much.
It's a genre that's heating up.
Exactly. First of its kind.
We're in early.
Yeah.
I just realized that like corporate conference room humor is basically church humor. That's basically what it is. If you've never been to like a church potluck, it's all dad jokes. This pottery game is heating up. Like that's basically what it is. It's very funny to me. It's like it's cringy, but it's also kind of endearing. I like it. Makes me feel like a child again.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad to have you here because I feel like we didn't just have 7 hours of a meeting together in showcase planning. It just wasn't enough. So
we did, but it was a good meeting.
It was.
I should let people in on that. We did yesterday review all of the trailers for the upcoming showcase.
Yes.
And it's probably one of my favorite meetings of the year, I think.
For sure.
Well, it's just cool to see.
So little inside baseball. So it's mid-April. And he said they just reviewed all the trailers for the upcoming showcase, for the summer showcase. So they have the trailers ready 2 months ahead of time? Or maybe he just means like, this is the trailers we're going to have. Some of them are done, some of them are not. And they're just like getting things lined up, I guess. But it does go to show you, like, these things are in the works way ahead of time. You see something in June and you're like, oh, I hope they can change this. It's like, yeah, they probably can, because that version of the game was from earlier this year. You know, that's crazy.
The teams, there's some stuff that's really done, some stuff that's not done, some stuff that's amazing, some things that needs a little work, but it's the reflection of all the work that the teams are doing, and we all get to come together. It's a great point of the year where everybody's working together on one thing, which is always a lot of fun. And I just like the let's put on a show aspect of it, right? It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. A whole group of people come together, first party, third party, everyone's kind of coming in an effort of how do we surprise and delight our audience?
Yeah.
Are there secrets we should spill about the planning process of Showcase?
I don't know about that. I'll say that, you know, we've got the Gears Direct coming, and after seeing that, we've probably got like a full 30 minutes, which is really great. And I don't know, I love everybody in that studio, the work they're doing. I'm excited about the game, and it's just, we're going to have a full 30 minutes of stuff to see.
Yeah, absolutely. We aim to deliver, and it was great. I was just at the Coalition.
I'm going to be real. I like this. I like what they're doing. Open it up, make it more real to people. Don't go all Microsoft Corpo on it. Be real about it. Like, I think people love hearing the behind the scenes stuff. it makes them appreciate the end product a lot more when they know what went into it. And so in this case, I think it's great to just be like, yeah, so it's mid-April. We're sitting down with people right now. We're working on the showcase and we're tweaking some stuff because this thing, I don't think it'll play that right. So we're trying to change this and move that around. I think people love that. So I hope that they continue doing this. I'm digging it.
Filming the direct, we wrapped on that production, and just a really wonderful team, very passionate about what they do, very talented with everything that they do. And I want to talk about them, and I want to talk about all the other studios. But before we get into that, I feel like we got to talk about this fancy new title. What does this mean for you? What does this mean for the studios too?
Well,
yeah, what do you even do here?
I think it's more the latter, right? The title is more than anything a reflection of the work that the studios do. It is so core to who we are as Xbox and all the work that all our teams do across all our studios. It's a validation of their work. The title, I think you see it in other places. You see it in film, you see it in publishing. And so I think it brings just, again, a validation that says that one, Xbox takes these studios seriously, that Microsoft takes it seriously, and that content, the things that we build, all our great games, is important. So that's really what it's about. For me, my job stays the same. We were just, talking about this. It's like, it's such a privilege to be able to work with all these teams, and probably the best part of my job is having visibility into everything that they're all doing. And fortunately for me, none of that changes.
Yeah, you've always been on the circuit visiting studios, seeing what they're building. So what has that been like? Who have you seen lately? What have you?
Yeah, my understanding is his role is to basically manage the relationships with the studios. So if Asha, or before her, if Phil wanted to know what the hell is going on over at BGS, Matt is the guy who should know what's going on. So I think he's the point of contact, and that's probably realistically one of the strategic reasons they kept him instead of just clearing house fully and getting somebody new, is because he had already built relationships with those studios for years and years and years. And having somebody brand new come in and rebuild that would be a hassle. So I'm guessing that's why.
You played.
Well, there's just so much going on. I mean, I could almost just mentally do the tour of what's going on, right? I mean, we've got things, that have been announced. So we've got Mojang with Dungeons 2. So there's that to see.
Yeah, just announced, yeah.
This will be a little bit of a laundry list, but as I just kind of mentally walk the studios, Undead Labs has got the alpha for State of Decay 3.
So excited for State of Decay 3.
So that's cool, and it's great to see that they're at that point. I go to Blizzard, and we see all the progress that they've made with Overwatch, which is great. And then at the end of the month is the Lord of Hatred expansion for Diablo 4. Also coming along great. It's just amazing. Every time I
Andrew,
go
thank you.
to visit Blizzard, you're just reminded of sort of the history of Blizzard, and also just the kind of the level of art and craft that exists there, which is great.
Some of the best cinematics in the industry.
Yeah, and maybe later on we can talk a little bit about that, because it's cool what they're doing with some of our teams, so we can circle back on that. But
we got too much to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about. But so, we've got
That will be interesting when they mention that later.
that going on. Elder Scrolls.
I saw a tidbit about that.
They just started their new approach. They kind of call it this Season 0 thing, which is great. And it's exciting to see the reaction.
See, dude, that's how you do a nightclub.
This Season 0 thing, which is great. And
you remember the nightclub in Starfield where they're all dressed up like Teletubbies and they're doing the weird dances and stuff? If you put this into Starfield, just a gigantic lizard monster dancing sensually, I'd be all in. That's what they needed. They got to get these guys on.
It's exciting to see the reaction. It was cool to see some of the Starfield stuff before that came out.
Huge update.
Big update.
Yeah.
I mean, really, kind of a 1.5 release, really, when you think about it. It's great to bring in.
I'm sorry. I just find it funny that everybody's like, oh, is this a 2.0? No, it's more of a 1.5. It's all just just tweak it a little bit. It's not a 2.0, but it's a 1.5. Oh, okay.
And new players on new platforms and bring them into the game that Bethesda has built.
The universe, truly.
Yeah, and it's cool to see online, too, some of the things you read where they're like, hey, this might be shaping up now and evolving into being one of their best RPGs in quite a while. So that's really cool to see, right? And then, we've got things going on across the studio. So there's just, I could kind of walk the list. I mean, seeing the latest that Obsidian's got going on with Grounded 2, the continued work there. You've got obviously all the continued seasons work going on with Call of Duty. Rattling all this off, I guess to bring it to a point, what it makes me think of is just, we have got such an amazing lineup of IP, an amazing lineup of studios. I think in even just entertainment broadly, it's an amazing portfolio, which is just really cool to see that we've got that. And even some of the things that are going on, even as we think about portfolio extension into movies and TVs stuff, it's great to keep up with that. So, I make the joke, we've got everything from like Kiln to COD,
Absolutely.
everything from Minecraft to Warcraft. There's probably more of those I could do,
Yeah.
but it's
Great cadence. That's a song in itself.
It's just always fun to get out and see the studios
Yeah.
and everybody, you started out saying, wow, there's kind of a lot going on across Xbox right now, a lot of change in the industry. But the thing that just grounds me is when we go to talk with our studios, it's just everybody's working hard. They're all passionate, excited about their
Absolutely.
game that they're
Yeah.
building, which is really cool.
We really do have just an incredible span of very different teams working with very different specialties across. We've got AAA shooters, we've got inventive party experiences, we've got mind-bending genres and dramas. It's just a lot that you would assume people are kind of working in their own creative bubbles because everything's very specializing in what they're really focused on. But that's actually not the case.
No, it is the case that we have got a lot of different kinds of studios and they've all got their own cultures. So we think about it as a culture of cultures. I see a big part of my job is to provide just enough connection and just enough structure across those that they can communicate with each other, that they can share things back and forth, but never to the point that we're coming in over the top trying to change who they are. But
What's interesting is how those dynamics shifted and changed over the years. Because, for example, there was the reporting that when they bought Bethesda Softworks and ZeniMax and everything, but when they bought ZeniMax, the whole company, they acquired, of course, Arcane. And Arcane, Austin, was working on this little game called Redfall. And apparently, the people that worked there were hoping that Phil Spencer would come in and cancel it. They were hoping that they would get it canceled and get to work on the game they actually wanted to make. That didn't happen because Phil was like, no, I don't want to mess with your projects. You keep doing what you're doing. Like, no, Phil, really, you should come look at this game we're making. You should not go easy on us. You should look at this and see if we need to be punished and have it canceled. Oh boy, man, we need your help here. But he didn't want to do that because he didn't want to step on their toes. And we all know the results of Redfall. It was a case of, I think, well-intentioned lack of supervision, and it caused problems. And so with this, I think it's just interesting to hear how their approach has changed after that, because they realized that we probably need to be more involved. I thought they were working on Blade. So there's two versions or two different branches, or were two branches of Arcane: Arcane Austin and Arcane Lyon. Arcane Lyon is the main, like, Dishonored guys. They're doing Blade. Arcane Austin, they did Redfall.
Really seen a lot, and once we build those connections, of teams starting to share things with each other. So our team in Vancouver, the Coalition, they are really our center of excellence for Unreal Engine work, and that is benefiting the teams, for example, at Brian Fargo's studio in Exile, working on Clockwork Revolution. They're able to benefit from all of the really technical work that they're doing up at the Coalition. There's other examples. We've got the Blizzard Cinematics team helping out on Fable. We've got our studio in Montreal, Compulsion Games, using the Activision mocap studio. We've got, I think, the team at Rare with a lot of multiplayer experience working on Sea of Thieves, helping out Double Fine on Kiln, the pottery game. So there's a lot of examples of that. One, maybe just to sort of show a more complicated round trip, you had State of Decay 2, which had some pretty sophisticated technology for doing saving shared worlds and how you sort of save this persistent state. And the team at Obsidian, which is a really small team that built Grounded, took that tech to use in Grounded, but then the people at Obsidian kind of added to it, and now it's gone first circle back to Undead Labs to be in State of Decay 3. So that's kind of a cool example of how once we build these pathways, there's a lot going on in between the different teams.
Yeah.
Well, and it properly utilized, that is such a competitive advantage to be able to have the coalition guys that are doing Wizards work with Unreal Engine, to have them be able to go and help a 100-person team working on Clockwork Revolution. You can start to understand why these games start to look like they're punching so far above their weight class. Like Clockwork Revolution. You would not guess that this game was made by like 100 people. Like, this does not look like a tiny operation.
Viewer, trust your instincts, sir. Tall, yes, sir. Built rather slim, well, muscular. Mm-hmm. Was very quick, agile. Go on. With a mustache. No, larger. Don't want to kill him.
That's why it pays to be clever and well-armed. Let's go and end a few arguments.
Dude, I can't wait for that game. I think this is one to keep an eye on for real. For real. But it's just such a competitive advantage to be able to go to the coalition and be like, hey, can you just help us? We're trying to figure out why this thing, this one section is stuttering for some reason. Can you help us figure out this optimization? Or, hey, we're trying to do this cool lighting effect, but it's not working quite right. Can you help us with that? We want to do this massive explosion where a whole city block explodes. Can you help us figure out how to do that? It's a huge advantage to be able to tap into that expertise. And it seems like it's been something they've played around with a little bit. There was stories, for example, I think with Starfield, actually, it was, where they were saying that id Tech, the Doom guys, they were working and helping BGS on the shooting, like gunplay, to make it feel more punchy and stuff like that, which is just a fascinating, crossover. But it works. The gunplay in Starfield felt a lot better than previous games, so I'll give them that.
I love that they're building on each other's work, not just sharing in one direction, but actually kind of, as you said, bringing that back together. And I think King and Mojang have also done work together.
Yeah,
too.
and the game that we announced, Minecraft Blast, right? So it's more of a game design, gameplay thing. But it's just cool that those two teams can get together and think about, hey, we've got King's expertise, we've got Mojang with the IP, like, is there something that we can do? And it goes beyond just technology sharing. I mean, there's a lot of tools and approaches to things that, best practices that are also moving back and forth between our studios.
And you mentioned the coalition, and I love that literally TG exists at the coalition run by Kate Rayner. So what is the XGTG?
Yeah, I think it's Xbox Games Technology Group.
Yes.
That is the group that really has the center of excellence around Unreal Engine work, and then takes that out, makes it available to the other studios. They're not brought in to work on the games, and they're not a firefighting team. They are developing the technology, but packaging it up in a way that it's very easy to hand off to the other studios. Could probably sit here for a while. We could do a little TED talk on all the things we're on, but we've got a lot of RPG teams. They're sharing narrative tools, and this even goes back to things like some of the in-game store technology that was in Minecraft made its way into Flight Simulator, which then made its way into Starfield. So, we try to stay out of the way, but provide those pathways so that sharing can happen.
Yeah, I love that. We got some of the best people in the business, so why not idea share? More brains are better than one. So we're seeing so much of those skill sets and all of that idea.
Well, and apparently Asha, one of her big things is trying to, I saw a talk she did. It was back in her Instacart days, but basically she was phrasing how one of her goals is to tear down walls. So she wants teams to be able to work very efficiently and quickly together to be able to share resources and move more dynamically, as they say. So it makes sense that she's really pushing for the teams to collaborate a lot more. That lines up.
Sharing really reflected in the content too. It has been an eventful spring, to say the least. So much so that I actually need to consult my notes just to keep up with the sheer volume of it. So we've got Overwatch just launched Season 2. We already know who the new damage hero is, Sierra, the 6th new hero just added this year alone. Starfield just released a massive free lanes update for all platforms. One of the coolest things, obviously, being you can cruise between planets, but tons of other updates and ads and improvements in that massive update. Elder Scrolls Online launched Season 0, Dawn and Dusk. New zones, challenges, whole host of improvements there as well. Kiln is releasing next week. Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred releases shortly after one. That's a big new expansion with a new campaign, new classes, Paladin, Warlock. Shout out to Warlock, frankly. New region, and also you get Vessel of Hatred for free, actually, alongside that. And then, of course, we have tons of other things that I can't even remember.
I don't know. Yeah, that was impressive.
Thank you.
The only thing, as I'm going through the list, we've got Minecraft Dungeons 2.
Yeah, announced at Minecraft Live.
Which is noteworthy. I think it's the first sequel, the actual sequel that Minecraft has ever had. Minecraft has done a lot, but
This
I
is
don't know
momentous.
we've ever had a 2 attached
Yes.
to anything.
Oh my gosh, milestone.
And we've seen a lot.
I don't play Minecraft, so I don't know a lot about that. But maybe it's good.
Out of that come together, and it's looking really good.
Yeah, we're very busy teams here.
Yeah, yes.
And then, of course, Forza Horizon 6.
God, Forza, yeah, which is just looking amazing. I had a moment, like we got to see a cut of the trailers, some stuff that will, come out later. But it just took me back to, there's a time, like when I grew up making games myself, like racing games really were a pretty dominant genre in the industry. And, and there were new racing games that would come out and you'd be so excited. And just what the team has done and the combination of the music that they've brought in and the location and the setting, I had that same sense of excitement of like going to play, other racing games like the first time. And a lot for me, it was in the arcades. And, they've done such a good job with that series. The reality is we're in a hit-driven business, right? So games like movies, like music, a lot of things, very hit-driven. So for Playground, working in conjunction with Turn 10, to have delivered that series. And then now, I think with FH6, it's not just a sort of a next or like a sideways move. It really feels like a whole new, fresh game. So I don't know, I'm very excited. The stuff that we're seeing is really well put together. It's pretty cool.
And we're seeing that in previews too. I actually grabbed a couple quotes here.
Do we have anybody in chat who's big into Forza? I've never been like super into racing games or anything, so I genuinely don't know how it looks or how it plays or how it feels. If anybody has any like feedback or what you've seen on it, any feelings towards it, let me know.
That I felt were really reflective of a lot of the technical achievement and the cultural achievement. I mean, we've been waiting for Japan for so long.
Whiskey,
so
thank
from
you.
Tech Radar, this quote is, watching passing tower blocks glimmer back to me off the bonnet, I'm convinced driving in a game has simply never looked this good. And they go on to say, like the last entry, handling changes realistically depending on the weather conditions too, and my car's picked up an embarrassing number of scrapes the first time I was caught out in pouring rain. And like that's just such an enjoyable experience that as you get kind of familiar with the game and the environment and the cars and just seeing all of that impact in the environment and on the cars. So it's just really cool to see some of that pick up.
Yeah, and along those lines, we always think about any Forza game as a technical showcase, right? And cars are so great to show that off with the reflections and the materials, the paint and the metal and the rubber and glass and everything. It's really cool. But one of the bigger innovations that we're going to see in Forza Horizon 6 is also just the jump in and play social aspects, right? Which is such a part of gaming today. And the team has really, really put in the time and the hours and the features to make it a game that not only looks great, but is going to really, I think, lend itself to a lot of social play and a lot of easy jump-in play.
Yeah, and we featured Forza Horizon 6 in our developer direct, our multi-title developer direct in January, and the team really talked a lot about that, about progression, about those experiences. And I'm excited to see how all of that goes coming later this year. And there was a lot of conversation, too, from previews that I saw about the digital tourism of it, just the sheer beauty of how everything is represented, not just realistically, but just very, very well detailed and thought out. And
so,
yes, please.
Yeah, well, on that, it's so interesting you bring that up, that digital tourism, because I hadn't thought about it in the terms of Forza, but yeah, there are times where you just want to drive around and look at things. Another what caught.
It's one of the reasons I liked old school Assassin's Creed games, because it was like, oh, I want to go explore Paris. I want to go explore London, you know? And you could actually do that and climb around Big Ben and do stuff like that. It's back before they got rid of all that and just put it in a forest, you know? That's why I need to get back to good old AC in a medieval setting, medieval city. That's what I want. I want that. Because I do think like the video game tourism is legitimately a cool thing that you can experience, you know, a world or a place that you can't right now in real life, but you can do it digitally. That's really, really cool in an interactive way. And so, yeah, I think that makes sense as an element of why some people might like a game like Forza.
On that is, you know, we've seen a lot of that with Flight Simulator, right? Which is, it can just generate such amazing graphics. Like on the one hand, there's like study level 737s that you can basically go train in an airplane.
Yeah, literally pilots training.
You know, and that's like for somebody that's out here. But then there's a whole nother aspect of that, the simulator, which is, I just want to fly over my house, or I just want to like, what's it like to fly over Niagara Falls, right? And
yeah, I told you guys, whenever I'm about to go on a big trip and I want to know like where I'm headed and what it's going to be like, I go in Microsoft Flight Simulator and then I fly around like the airport and the city that I'm going to just experience it and see what it's like and get a lay of the land. My wife made fun of me. My wife, she was like, that's so weird. Why would you do that? I'm like, it's cool. It's cool. If I want to go and I want to see, hey, how far are the Great Pyramids from Cairo? I can just go do that. Okay, if I want to go Valley of the Kings and fly from there up to the pyramids, how long would that take me? Spoiler alert, it's a while. It's baller, dude. I like trains. Good for you, Sneaky Pickle.
You know, what's it like to fly over the Serengeti? And I love that. I think that there's room for all of that.
Absolutely.
And it's just fantastic you brought that up about Forza, because I hadn't put that together before.
Yeah, Flight Sim is really interesting. I have two older brothers. We grew up gaming, but they don't have time for it anymore. This is their perspective. My oldest brother plays nothing but Flight Sim anymore because he loves having that realistic experience, and it's so actually part of what a pilot's experience.
They don't have time for Xbox? What do you mean they don't have time? Have they heard about Game Pass? The incredible value it offers? What do you mean they don't have time? What do you mean? The stare of death. The stare of... Interesting.
Is that it's nice to have that simulation. And I even think about that with Kiln. You can just sit and make pots all day if you want.
Right,
you don't have to actually pay the
go do anything.
Damn it, I can't say it anymore. You know.
Stick to the pottery, no party brawler.
Exactly,
right?
no more puns on that. And IGN did
Playable multiplayer party pottery brawler.
talk a lot about that digital tourism, and I thought this one line from their preview was funny, which says, if the preview didn't have a cutoff time, I can guarantee you I'd still be playing it now. Not bad for a build with just a tiny sliver of the 550 cars coming on day one.
Oh no. Oh no. IGN likes it. Damn it. I was just starting to think it would be good. Damn it.
And that's a lot of just wanting to live and breathe the world.
Yeah.
And my final quote that I think is pretty apt is from Games Radar.
Luke, the guys at IGN don't like you. You're too mean. Good. Get better. I don't care. Like, bite me.
And it says, fueled by Playground's relentless pursuit of excellence, Forza Horizon 6 is set to become one of the best racing games of the generation. And frankly, if you took the out of context quote of relentless pursuit of excellence, I would have been like, are you talking about Playground? So it's very apt in that sense, and very cool to see that celebration right now.
It's all a reflection of the work that goes on at Playground and them working in conjunction with Turn 10, you know, over the last few years, going over there and just seeing what a sophisticated development organization it is. And just the biggest thing that's probably changed in video games maybe over the last 20 years or so is the level of specialization that happens. And with a game like that, there's just so many of these deep verticals in terms of car handling and graphics and physics and terrain and, you know, the features. So it's just, when you visit there, it's amazing, sophisticated operation. It's great to see that reflected in some what you're reading.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll meet some brilliant people where like they're straight up physicists and they're just like have ridiculous graspings of math. You'll walk into a game studio and you see on the whiteboard like an equation written out that's just for something like seemingly mundane. It's like, yeah, we wanted to have a spell cast, and when it goes off, it like pulls objects towards it, kind of like a gravity attraction thing. And so this is just one of the equations that helps figure that out. And you look at it and you're like, bro, I am not this smart. This is crazy. But that's the level of intensity you're dealing with.
And it's the stuff that our players are looking for from those games. So the attention to detail, very important to everybody involved. So yeah, great to see that celebrated. Well, we've been talking a lot about what's coming up, but if we look backwards just a little bit and think about GDC, Jason Ronald was at GDC talking about Project Helix and talking about this platform where you get to play your Xbox games and your PC games. So I would love to understand, what does this mean for the game teams? How are they involved in kind of developing Xbox's console hardware future?
Yeah, I mean, one of the really cool things about us as a publishing and game development organization that makes us different from a lot of other big publishers in the industry is that we are side by side in the same org with the hardware team, right? So we, our teams are involved early on with thinking about the visioning, what's the planning, what are the specs, and of course we're there every step of the way as these things come along. So it's an exciting time. It's great to have the news out there and to be announced. And as we've done with many consoles before, you know, those two teams will work hand in hand as we get that together. And as the hardware comes online, our teams will be the first to get involved. And there's already a lot of that already happening. But that is, I think, where Xbox really shines and where we stand apart, and what makes, you know, shows off what's unique about us both as a platform and as a, you know, set of game development studios is when we come together. And the announcement of Project Helix it was an exciting moment to kind of showcase that.
Yeah, I'm sure exciting for people to just start briefly talking about it as we continue to reveal more there.
I saw one person point out they've described it, and so this could have changed, but from when I heard it, they were saying how they couldn't actually find any clear statement from Xbox saying that on Project Helix you can install Steam. The phrasing they've always used is you can play your PC games, but they've never explicitly said you can install Steam. It might just be assumed that, like, no, Steam is where your PC games are. You can play PC. So yeah, you can download Steam, but they've never explicitly said it. And it got me scared because I was like, wait, if they never said it, then what if it's not? And then what does that even mean? Does that mean that like you have to download the games through Steam, but then it's not hosted on Steam, and so it's not like a launcher? I don't know. It was weird. I believe they said you can install other launchers. Is that how they phrased it? Okay. Yeah, I think this was said in the aftermath of GDC, or of, no, it would have been GDC. So it was like right as it was fresh. They might have clarified since then, but I fully expect it will launch Steam and you'll be able to download everything. But yeah, it was just interesting. Anyway, continuing.
And we've talked a lot about the studio talent, developing talent at Xbox, sharing skill sets. I really think there's something to Xbox's history around supporting emerging developers for a long line of history, actually. So a lot of people think about ID at Xbox as a perfect example of that, or Discovery channels like XBLA back in the day, or Game Pass today. But there's also Game Camp. So what is that program?
Game Camp, it's really an amazing program. It is a way for us to provide mentorship and access and support to people who are early in career and are interested in getting into working in games, but might not have access to it because either where they are, where they live, they're not in a big hub city. So Game Camp really starts with this idea that the tagline has become extraordinary talent resides everywhere. So even though somebody might, again, not have direct access to it, doesn't mean that they don't have great ideas about making games. So it started fairly small, but it's all the people on our teams, right? And they put in extra time above and beyond their day jobs to come together and really provide this structured mentoring sort of system where we run it like a camp. It's just the best name for it. So we get the campers together. They will come together. We work with cities and locations and give us space to work in, and they'll form teams. They build games. They get feedback and advice. The really cool thing is that if you're in in Game Camp, you might hear about game coding from one of the people that works on something like Forza. You might hear about game design from somebody like Todd Howard, right? So you get that exposure and that access, and then they're really guided to work in teams and put together a product. And some of those teams have gone on to actually form professional game teams. They've shipped games into ID at Xbox. They've shipped them elsewhere. We've had some of those folks that go through Game Camp come and work on our game teams. It's really fantastic. And I like, there's the old kind of cheesy saying, but like camp is for the counselors. And I think the people on our teams, the folks on our teams, really also get a lot out of it because they're putting in extra time and they see that there's people that have interest in games and a passion for it. And all they really needed was a way to get started, a way to get going. And we've done this in so many locations. We've done it in Detroit and New Orleans, in Belgium, and Africa, and Sweden. And we've really, gone around the world to do this. And we've kind of got it turned into a program to the point that this year, we're going to be doing a game camp in Minnesota in partnership with Best Buy. So they have their Best Buy Foundation, and they're going to come in and
Yeah, if you didn't know, Best Buy is headquartered in Minneapolis. Fun fact. What are we watching? Fanboy Slop. That almost took me out. That's funny. Yeah, these I like these types of programs because there's, again, amazing talent everywhere. Absolutely agree with that. It's how to get them to go into this career instead of giving up on it. I will say I'm glad that they're trying to foster talent. It is a little frustrating to hear about like these types of programs where they're like, yeah, get in the industry, knowing damn well that like most people who are getting into the industry are getting laid off. Maybe not most people, that's an exaggeration, but a lot of people who got into the industry are getting laid off very, very quickly. It's like, well, you can get into the industry if you really want to, but like, just be aware it's pretty cutthroat and you might, get laid off and then not get a job replacement for years. Like I saw one of the guys, I think it was one of the guys Kiwi Talks interviewed. He was like an engineer or a developer with Rockstar who has worked on like Red Dead 2 and GTA 5. And he's been out of work for like 9 months. Can't find a job. That guy can't find a job, So I'm glad they're doing game camps and stuff, but the industry in general is a rough place to get into right now.
help us with sponsorship, and they're going to help organize it and really help rally the community. It's such a big part of Game Camp too, is the location matters. So I'm excited. I think it's a great validation of the program. It's a great reflection of our teams leaning in, as you said, because upcoming emerging developers, it's such an important part of who we are, and it's just an amazing opportunity for people that are really early in career to get access to things that they might not have otherwise.
And that talent really does exist everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting close to our time here. I think they're going to kick me out, not you, obviously. But I did want to ask you, we've talked about a lot of how this year is shaping up to be very busy for us, very content filled. We've got studios expanding into new IP. We've got more DLC and seasonal content coming everywhere on our live service games. We've got all the recent announcements about what's coming up next. So when you look at all of that and you look at our portfolio and our content this year, what's the thing that really stands out for you?
We are laying off another 3,000 people. Sorry. You have to laugh or you'll cry about it.
Wow. Well, now you're just asking me to pick a favorite kid, and that's almost impossible.
Just between
right?
you and I, no one else is listening.
We just took a trip down to Irvine, and we've got quite a lot of studios there with Blizzard Campus and then Obsidian and with In Exile. And we got to see the latest updates on Clockwork Revolution, which is
so
just
excited about Clockwork
really
Revolution.
coming along, right? I think it's a bit of a cliche to say they punch above their weight, but it's kind of hard. You got to remind yourself, this is a team of 100 people, and it looks like a lot more than that. So it really is coming along. So that's fresh in my mind in terms of what we see. Macro, I would say it's great that I can look through the rest of this calendar year, and we've got some really big games with big franchises and lines up with the 25th anniversary of Xbox, but then it keeps going, right? Which is exciting, and I hope that's a reflection of us getting to a cadence of things where we've hit this kind of critical mass where we can, make sure that there's big things coming mixed with some of the smaller things, mixed with the updates, with the goal of just making sure that all of our games have got their own window and their own time to shine. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I've been, among the chorus of people that's been frustrated that Xbox has really struggled to make each game really pop. Xbox's games especially, they seem like they come and they go just as fast, like Doom. Big game. I mean, it's freaking Doom, the Dark Ages. Doom. And it feels like people talked about it for a week and a half and then it disappeared, Same kind of like with Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was really good. It was gone pretty quick. Outer Worlds 2, that's another one, it also was here and then just gone and nobody talked about it. So they've got big games. It's just, how do you make them make a splash, How do you make it really feel like a beat, a moment? Like, if GTA 6 is a beat, then nothing else is a beat. But like GTA 6 is going to be a freaking chapter to itself. What most games hope for is a beat, like Expedition 33 was a beat. That moment happened and it changed things. People refer back to it. They think about it, and I don't think they've figured out the best way to do it for these other games. And part of it is just they have so many games that it's tough. I mean, I don't envy them because they are trying to juggle a bajillion games all at the same time. But I think if they really give time or give games, if they really give games time to shine and sizzle and simmer, it's going to help a lot. Like, I think Gears, they have a big moment with that. That could be huge. Because Gears and Fable both are supposed to come towards the end of this year, allegedly. Probably, I feel like Fable has to launch in October, otherwise, but then also Gears. Like, I don't think either one of them wants to go up against GTA 6. So, and they definitely want to get one of them out the door. They don't want to delay both. If they're going to delay one, it's probably Fable. They've said that they are actually locked in for this year. They will come out this year, which makes me think Fable is maybe even earlier. Maybe Fable is like September. And then that puts, you could do Gears in like October. Maybe that works. But I don't know, man. It's a tough needle to thread. Tell you what. I thought Fable was already delayed. Oh God, am I crashing out? It's been rumored, I know, but I don't think it's been confirmed. Yeah, as Fable is rumored to be delayed. This is from yesterday. One of the main social media accounts for the Fable reboot is no longer telling fans they can look forward to playing the game in 2026. This development came after a reporter said the game had been delayed internally and may not release this year. Yeah, they said autumn 2026. And then apparently like one of the social media accounts stopped saying 2026. Yeah, Jeff Grubb said that he thought it was a prime candidate to slip into 2027. Fable X account posted at least 3 times to say Fable was coming in fall 2026 prior to the last post mentioning 2026 on April 13th. The account has engaged with fans since then, but none of the message included mentioned 2026 for the release. So, I mean, yeah, they were saying it, but 4 days ago, they were still saying autumn. So, like, yeah, I guess it's possible, but like, I don't know, man. If it's delayed, I don't think I'd be shocked. I'd be like, okay. They seem confident about it. They're doubling down on it, tripling down on it. But if they're going to delay Gears or Fable, I think they delayed Fable. That's kind of what my expectation is, but we'll see. Anyway, I think that they are, Xbox is starting to kind of get into a little bit of a groove, and I hope that they stick to it and are able to continue making progress and moving forward, because they need they need to figure their crap out. It's what's best for the industry. It's what's best for everybody. Even if you're a PlayStation gamer and you don't care at all about any of Xbox's games or anything, you should still be rooting for them to figure their stuff out and to be competitive, because it'll force PlayStation to be competitive. You want to avoid a $1,000 PlayStation 6? Hope that Xbox figures it out and can give them a run for their money. Because if they feel like they have if they own the market, they're not going to feel the need to be really competitive. And because they can be greedy and it'll be fine, And so you should be hoping that they figure it out. And that's what I'm hoping for. A successful Xbox means a cheaper PS5. Hopefully PS6 too. Hopefully. Luke, have you personally heard of another GTA 6 delay? No. Like I've said, I think the odds of a GTA 6 delay into 2027 is like 3 to 5%. I think it's very unlikely. It's never impossible, but I would not expect it to happen. Until they get rid of the developer guidelines, Xbox will never have hit games that aren't racing. They've been all downhill since. The developer guidelines. I'm not sure what you're referring to specifically, but they've had, they have some massive IP, some big games. It's just been a matter of figuring out how to get stuff out the door consistently, that's high quality, that lives up to people's expectations, and then to also make them feel like real beats, real moments. If you can't do that, you're in trouble, and that's been a difficulty for them, Xbox walks in and they're all green and they look at you and they just say this and expect you to go along with it.
Call me asparagus.
Call me asparagus. That's all. That is all. What are big games? Expensive games? Why is that inherently good? When we say big games, I think, of course, it depends on what people are individually meaning. But when I would say big games, I mean a big game in terms of impact. And by impact, it's like player counts, player interest, and things like that. Does that mean expensive? Sometimes. I would say like Expedition 33 was a big game as far as like gaming culture is concerned. It's a big game, but was it a particularly expensive game? No, it was one of the cheapest games that was nominated for any Game of the Year award probably ever. It just depends on what you mean, I guess. But yeah, budget approved. Exactly. Budget approved.
Tell him to bring out the lobster. Yes, sir. Tell him to bring out the lobster. All right, look at these babies. Tell him to bring out the lobster.
I just want to act like him one day. Gatorade. Yeah. Just I think life would be easier if you were able to live like DJ Khaled all the time.
Life. There's roadblocks. Don't let nothing stop you. Cause we ain't stopping.
Life is Roblox. Don't let nothing stop you. Words of wisdom. Speaking of words of wisdom, we have to watch this real quick. Are you ready? Speaking of big games. 3, 2, 1. Guys, it's almost here. New segment. Guys, it's almost here. The time is almost here. We're close. We're close. We've arrived. Batman, Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight is here. It's coming very, very shortly. I think this looks baller. And they just released official Batcave dev diary. Let's see what it has. Again, I just want to stress, 5 years ago, if you said that the like definitive Batman game like on the market would be a Lego Batman game, people would have laughed at you. And the idea that Rocksteady would have crapped the bed so bad would have been insane. But yeah, Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad, both kind of dumpster fires. And now this. But now we have this. Now we have this. And I'm here for it, dude.
Smith. All of us here at TT Games, alongside DC, WB Games and the LEGO Group, are very, very excited to show you this new look at LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. This is the definitive Batman experience, with dynamic combat, an incredible open-world Gotham City, and an epic, era-spanning Batman adventure that can only exist in a LEGO world. Today, for the first time, we're taking you deep underneath Wayne Manor. The Batcave.
Dude, they have a Batcave.
It starts as little more than a hole in the ground, filled with bats.
Makes sense.
And the stuff left behind by bats. And also fear. But as Batman learns to use that fear and grows into a Gotham City legend, the Batcave grows along with him. Over the course of our story, you'll excavate and expand the Batcave. It's the base of all Batman operations, where you'll build your collection of Batsuits and the ultimate garage of Batmobiles.
Dude, this looks so much better than it has any right looking. Like, for real, dude. This is a Lego Batman game, and they're like overhauling it with so much stuff. But this is also why I've said, I think, like, as the technology just gets better and better and better, as like graphics cards end up costing 10 grand, and like by the time we're on the 90s, you know, the 1090s, I guess we already did 1070s and stuff, whatever the next generation of, you know, GPUs are, I think it's going to lean much more into stylized games, because I think it's going to be kind of trivial to make games that look kind of photorealistic. I don't think that'll be that exciting for people anymore. What will be exciting is like high fidelity with strong art direction, or just something bizarre and crazy like a Lego game. Like the fidelity they're showcasing here is really, really good. If you go back, like look at the little plastic texturing on his, where'd it go? On his sleeve. Like, look at that. It's the actual same texturing you get on the actual, what's the name of that plastic? PLA that they use in Lego? But like, it's actually high fidelity, but it's Lego. It's Lego, you know? And so like, it's actual high quality, high fidelity cloth, but it's Lego. So it's fun and exciting, you know? I'm so here for it. And I think that this is like the next big, it's going to be the big thing. I think in like 10 years time, it's not going to be about photorealism. It's going to be about strong art direction and just wacky things kind of like this. You know, I love it.
Collection of Batsuits and the ultimate garage of Batmobiles. You'll upgrade your gadgets and skills. You'll exhibit trophies from your adventures and adversaries.
Love that.
And you can really make the place your own by collecting and building a huge variety of Lego furnishings and equipment.
Muscle.
Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight features capes, cowls, and costumes from every Batman era. From 0 year to 89, from Bronze Age to Dark Knight. You can even assume the identity of Zur-En-Arr. Or this guy. The Bat Computer.
Hey, whoa, wait a minute. You can't...
Batman's supercharged repository for all his case files, progress data, and
Oh, they let you replay missions too. Wow.
screensavers. Keep track of your collectibles and make sure you found those last Wayne Tech chips. Batman does love his toys and has the resources to fight crime with the Waynest of tech. Grapple over to the workbench and upgrade your gadgets. Throw a concussive batarang that disorientates every wrongdoer in the area. Or upgrade your Batclaw to turn your enemies into minifigure wrecking balls.
Who are you?
There are dozens of new options here. Be a good partner in crime fighting and upgrade your allies' equipment too.
Meow.
And of course, Every Batcave needs an amazing collection of vehicles. Lego Batman gives you the garage of your dreams. The Batmobile from The Batman. The 1966
Hell yeah.
classic. The Dark Knight Batpod. The Tumbler. And many more. Race, blast, drift, and crash your way down the dark streets of Gotham City. Then, if you need a minute after a long night of crime fighting, you can relax with some pinball. Or a Lego Batman the video game. Or just... Become Batman. Defend Gotham City. Build the legacy.
Like, seriously, if Rocksteady had just done this, but not Lego, Game of the Year, I think this could be like an actual nominee for Game of the Year. Like, no joke. I'm not exaggerating. This looks so good. I hope it's good. It looks so good, though. Like, it's outrageous. It's outrageous. And it just goes to show you, like, yes, making video games is hard, but like when you see a game like this that's just focusing on like what would be fun, what's on our like bucket list that would just be outrageous and awesome to have in a Batman game. What if we just gave you like all of the outfits that you could possibly hope for from all of the major comic books, TV shows, movies, everything? What if we just give you everything? Easy. Let's do that. That's a great idea. All of these, why not? All of the freaking Batmobiles. What if we just give people a huge variety of them that they can unlock as time goes by? Wouldn't that be sick? Yeah, why not? But so many studios, this would be paid. Like each one of these would be $10, $10, $10, $10. Each one of these skins. If it was Rocksteady, people forget, but Rocksteady had this problem where they would do tons of microtransactions for every skin. But we're at the point now where this is such like easy brownie points to just give players stuff like this. It used to be the norm that you would get all these skins in the game. Now it's like considered a W to get them included in the game, but that's just where we are in the industry. But I'm still very excited about it. It's freaking awesome. Let's see. CK Alderiak, I think. I'm sorry. Thank you for the 5. Luke, stylized games have always been popular. Realism is a fade, or fad, I think you meant. Chased by devs that few people really care about. Well, I think so there's a difference between, I guess we have to be more specific, like who the people in question are. I think the evidence suggests that realism is really popular with investors. I think investors from the outside love photorealism, cutting edge graphics and amazing ray tracing, DLSS 5. I think they love that kind of thing. Gamers are not like super immediately turned on by it. Like they like photorealism, don't get me wrong, in some contexts, but I think investors especially eat that shit up. I think they love it. They love it. And that's part of the reason you've seen like a big push towards it from big companies, because that's where the money is, you know. But yeah, stylized stuff has always been popular, but part of the reason stylized stuff has been popular is because for many years you had to be heavily stylized just to run. Because like Breath of the Wild, you cannot get Breath of the Wild running with a more photorealistic presentation on a Switch. It just doesn't work. That thing is like a potato in comparison to what you actually need to run like a photorealistic version of Breath of the Wild. So the art direction was kind of born out of the technical limitation as well. And they kind of worked together, where the art direction allowed them to go with simplified models, simplified textures and materials and stuff that allowed it to run on the hardware better. And it also looked really, really good. So it was kind of this like technical limitation that worked hand in hand with the art direction to make something that worked for everybody. Nowadays, and you know, it's crazy to think that Breath of the Wild is 9 years ago, but nowadays, you know,
GPU horsepower is not a super heavy limitation. Even on the Switch 2, the Switch 2 is ridiculously powerful. As I've shown you guys before, Switch 2, like Resident Evil Requiem, running on the Switch 2 is like ridiculously impressive. Like you would not think that this is running on a Switch 2 unless you see like specific shots with hair. It's like crazy how impressive this is, that it's running on a handheld device. Like it's ridiculous. Like these handhelds are not messing around anymore, dude. They really, really are not. These handhelds are beefy nowadays. They're beefy. So anyway, yeah, Pragmata 2 did that. I heard it runs well too. RE Engine, dude. RE Engine's crazy. Where do they leave off? Is this like PlayStation Hero projects? Oh, the program they have? I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. Wealthy, thank you for the 2. Fake corporate interview. You watched a Puff piece. If you missed it, I set it up mentioning that it is a fake podcast. It's an advertisement in the shape of a podcast, is how I would describe it. So it is... Nobody should go into one of those like Xbox official podcasts expecting it to be like hard-hitting journalism. That's not what it is at all. It is an advertisement, yes. But there are still interesting things you can learn from advertisements. Good info you can get from advertisements. You just have to understand what you're looking at, you know? Don't go into it being like expecting hard-hitting questions. That's just not how it is. Thoughts about Fairgames possibly going free to play and changing to become an extraction shooter? We touched on it earlier. I just personally, I don't, we have never technically seen the gameplay of the game as far as I'm aware. I don't think it's even leaked. But from what we understand of Fairgame $, I cannot imagine that game performing any better than like Marathon did. Right? Like I can't imagine it outperforms Marathon. So if it's not outperforming Marathon, is it really going to pay for itself? That game has been in development for so long, and they bought the studio to make it. So that could very well be like $100 to $200 million game. And does anybody think that that's going to outperform Marathon? And Marathon doesn't look like it's turning a profit either, at least not anytime soon. So like you just have to, at some point I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't see the world in which it blows up. Now, to be fair, it's been AFK for like 3 years. So it could be that they bring it back. We see a reveal in like a month or two and it's like, oh my God. And it blows us away. It very well could. I wouldn't put money on it, but never say never. Like it's possible that they did go back to the drawing board after the initial trailer and overhaul everything. Like you never know. It's been 3 years, so hopefully they've been doing something. But I just don't see a world in which that magically explodes and becomes Helldivers 2. You know, I just don't see that. Even free to play, as we saw with Highguard. They got 2 million people to boot into Highguard, and it still died within weeks. 2 million. And it died within weeks. Do you think 2 million people are going to download and play Fairgame $? And I'm not saying this like revel in it. I'm just like, let's be realistic about this. Like, let's be real. So I don't know. I don't know. Herman still thinks he can make money on it somehow. So I guess we'll see when we see. But yeah, I don't see what he sees in it. But I also have not seen like the gameplay footage that they are probably showing him that's exciting him. So I guess, you know, time will tell. Sounds like we're going to see it sooner rather than later, though. It sounds like it, you know, a lot of us thought that they were just going to cancel it and walk away, but it sounds like they're not doing that. So we'll see. Isn't 2 million considered low? No, 2 million players. Do you have any idea how many games would kill kill to have 2 million players. Like, user acquisition is one of the most difficult things in every business, but also specifically in gaming. It's very hard to get people to care enough about your game to download it and to play it. And they got over 2 million people, according to the studio, to download that game and play it. Any narrative about High Guard, like people not giving it a chance, no. 2 million people gave it a chance. They just didn't like it. Crimson Desert's over 5 million. Yeah, 5 million paying $70 a pop for it. High Guard was free. That was just people downloading it. Crimson Desert got 5 million people to pay for it. You know? Like that's the difference. That's the difference. Big difference too. Expensive difference. Call me asparagus, as it were. But closing tabs. Booyah, yeah. Okay. Wasn't it 60? All right, well, they paid top price for it. Let's see. No, Crimson Desert 70. Yeah, they paid 70. Oh, really sweet messages from the community. The music also goes hard. So yeah, that's the difference. That's the difference. Let's see. Worth every penny. Dude, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm still going through it. Of course, I had to take a bit of a detour to play Mouse PI for Hire. Ooh. And there's some other stuff going on in the background. But yeah, it'll be good. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Highly recommend it. Have I finished the main story? No, I still have not officially rolled credits. I'm at the point where like I've intentionally not looked up like any sort of story spoiler. So I'm not looking up like how much longer do I have left or anything. You know, what's in the last chapter. Like I'm not doing anything like that. I don't want to spoil it for myself, but I'm at the point where you basically realize, okay, this is kind of like the, you know, meet Hanako at Embers moment. This is like the we're about to finish. So maybe if you have other stuff to do, go do that. So I've effed off and I'm just exploring and doing crazy stuff. Having a great time. Highly recommend it. Mouse PI for Hire. Yeah, Mouse PI for Hire for $30, dude, is so good. It's such an easy recommend. Again, the idea that like somebody could give that a 6 out of 10 is crazy to me. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, it's just so good. It's so good. Todd's here. I sense him. Is that Envisioner? Is this your way of saying that you're actually Todd? Your Todd screen name? Let me look at your previous messages. Let's see. F Crimson Desert, y'all will play it for 2 weeks. Still playing it, my friend. Let's see. You messaged, I'm gonna drown 20 raccoons in Crimson Desert now. At some point you said that. Okay. If this is Todd, that's funny. Oh. Yeah, that's funny. The idea that this is secretly Todd is really funny to me. I'm sorry. Nobody likes this. It's fake and gay. You said that like 10 streams ago for something. So you might be Todd. We can't rule it out. The everyone's out. The jury's out. Nobody knows for sure. Neerich, thank you for the 5. So how was the Black Flag presentation? XDD, you think we wouldn't notice? From 1 out of 10, how good was it? Tell me. So let me get this straight. You're asking how was a hypothetical Black Flag presentation. I know people have talked about that, but it's all hypothetical. So I don't know. Never heard of it. I like trolling you guys so bad. Dude, they could give me early access to like GTA 6 and I'd just be like, yeah, no, I haven't played GTA 6. No, you think they would give me access to GTA 6? Why would they give me access to GTA 6? I would never get the chance to play it early. No, I've not played GTA 6 officially. I think he's trying to say something. What I can say is that when the time comes, we can say things. Fair. When the time comes, we can say things. Because when like embargoes lift, everybody's going to be posting coverage, and I don't know what their plan is with like big reveals. I don't know if they're doing like trailer drop, if there's going to be a like state of play or something. A lot of people thought there was a state of play yesterday. That was what I think Nate the Hate said was going to happen, and that obviously didn't happen. So I don't know what's going on or what the plan is, but I think we will be able to talk about all sorts of stuff relatively soon. Fingers crossed though. Thank you, Superfire. Thank you. Why is the pricing of 007 First Light lower with 70 euros than the usual 79.99 pricing? Is it priced lower in the States? No, it's also 70 in the States. It's also 70 in the States. So I don't know if it's showing cheaper in your region than it normally is. I guess that's just a happy accident, but it's not cheaper in the US. So I don't know the answer to that, honestly. I don't know. That's confusing. With the powers of Todd and Corey in chat, I think they could get something for you. No, I think so. I'm not going to pull it up. Okay. This is like mini segment. I don't even know if it's a segment. I'm not going to pull it up because I'm excited for it and I don't want to discuss it, but there have been alleged leaks about the next God of War game that potentially is the game Corey's working on. I don't want to get into that because I'm interested in the game. I don't want to spoil it for you or for myself. So we're not going to look at those. But you're asking about Corey. My suspicion is that Corey is going to go radio silent for the rest of the year because I think it's possible that that game is closer than we think it is. And I think he's in head down, work your butt off mode. And even if he were here, I don't think he'd be able to say anything. And so he'd pop up in chat and we'd all be swarming him. Like, you know, like I don't blame him. I will say, I heard from somebody, there is I won't be specific because I don't think he wanted to be revealed, but I did find out that a game director for a very highly anticipated upcoming game was in chat when we were talking about their game, and was under his personal account. So it's a screen name that you would see it and you wouldn't think that it was, you know, anybody that you would recognize. But I did find out that they're, you know, you never know who's hanging out. You never know who's hanging out. That's all I'll say. You never know. Like, people pop in, pop out, like, and sometimes it's legitimately like, no way. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. But what name? I'll try to check. I don't want to like betray trust or anything. I thought it was fun and like kind of cool, but I will not, what's the term? I won't kiss and tell, you know, I'll let them reveal themselves if they want to. But it was cool. It's why I've told you guys, like, you know, if we're talking about something and you have feedback or if you have thoughts on a game, verbalize it. You never know who's watching. Like, really, you never know who's watching. It may surprise you sometimes. Like, it may surprise you. So, you got me. It was me. Yep. Leslie Benzies. Yeah, he's in here doing a recon on for the lawsuit against the haters. That would be funny. I would actually not be that surprised if they popped in every once in a while to be like, oh, are they working on something? We gotta see. Oh, what is this? Wait, Assassin's Creed's official account is posting googly eyes on fan like speculation posts. Look at this. Access the Animus. A new potential teaser for Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced has appeared on the Animus Hub. Here's what we know. It appears on the memories page as a new memory stream, new character / time period. So it's actually listed there. Positioned after Shadows or potentially before Odyssey. Described as decrypting data, potentially hinting at a near future reveal. Still currently identified as 1579 on the left bar. There still is a chance this might be tied to Shadows. This still does seem like a teaser or placeholder for an imminent reveal of Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. And they actually commented on it. Dude, they're trolling. Dude, they're trolling so hard. I freaking love it. I freaking love it. So good. Oh, Corey's been summoned. The candles worked, guys. You can't see it, but I have a little wax and salt circle on the ground next to me for summoning. It worked. Hi, Corey. Don't worry. We won't talk about your game, even though you've never heard of it. It's going to be okay. This is cool, though. I love these kinds of like, what do they call these? There's a term for these. What are these called? It's like, it's not augmented reality. What are these? ARGs. Yes, ARGs. I love these kinds of things. Like when games and studios like go breaking the fourth wall a little bit. I freaking love it. I freaking love it. Oh my, holy shit, that's Todd Howard. We knew he was here. Dude, they just traded accounts the whole time. That's freaking funny. Yeah, I love these kinds of like breaking the fourth wall things. I think this is really cool. And I mean, what else is it gonna be? It's gotta be. Like, it's got to be Black Flag. What else could it possibly be? I mean, come on. Come on. But it's funny that they're actually replying to it. Are they replying to any other stuff? That one, no, all official posts. They've been posting a lot of like engine specific things. So, like overhaul updates on the engine and some of the stuff they're doing there, which I'm guessing is going to tie into the reveal. Oh, dude, I love Origins so much. It's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. This one was funny too. Apparently the Artemis 2 crew found a wild discovery. How did we miss that? We just missed it. That's crazy. Totally spaced it. That's wild. It's really funny. I think AC Landmarks actually photoshopped that. Are you still in chat, Landmarks? Are you still in here? You were in here earlier. It was pretty funny. This got a good chuckle out of me, I'll tell you what. Anyway, Origins is incredibly based. Dude, when it launched, it got a lot of flack and hate. People were like, what is this? I want it back like the old days. Give me AC Syndicate again. But dude, it's aged quite well, if I do say so myself. I'm a fan. Luke, you should get a room, preferably in a pyramid. I agree. I want a pyramid. I told my wife this. So you know how there's a distinction, okay? There's a line that you cross, okay? Think of it this. This is the spectrum of insanity, okay? This is it. It's really simple. This is how much money you have, okay? the less money you have, if you are just a wild person, you're just labeled as crazy. Okay? But if you have a lot of money, you're considered eccentric. That's close enough. Eccentric. I want to be eccentric desperately. I want to be able to go, and I told Nikki this. I was like, girl, when we get our big ass house, like forever home, I want it on a straight up compound. And you better believe I'm going to have massive boulders shipped out to the backyard. And I'm going to build a pyramid. Nothing crazy, like 40, 50 feet tall. I'm going to dig tunnels inside, and I'm going to hide crazy stuff in there. And I want to be buried inside. If I were broke, people would call me crazy. But if I have enough money to actually do that, then I'm eccentric, and that makes it okay. Okay? Because I want to live in I want to be in a pyramid that's like so massive and well constructed that archaeologists find it in 1,000 years. And they're like, oh, he's surrounded by these plastic wrapped delicacies. The inscriptions depict them as Twinkies, which we believe were an offering to this being that he clearly worshipped, the Todd Father. And clearly this was a site of reverence where he was sacrificed to the deity with the Twinkies as an offering. And that's why he was surrounded by candles the whole time. I want archaeologists to think that I was like some sort of high priest of the Toddley order. That's my goal. That's my goal, but it takes a pyramid. I cannot think of a way to do it without a pyramid. I could go like what was the Chinese emperor who buried himself, but he filled his tomb with liquid mercury. That's the ultimate like grave robber solution. Fill it with something super poisonous, and then nobody will break in. If they do break in, they die, so they can't take your stuff. That's how I do. But I want them to find me in 1,000 years, so I don't want to do that. I want to be found. You know? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was a Chinese emperor. I don't remember which one. But yeah, apparently it's like filled with liquid mercury. It's like a whole thing. Chinese emperor tomb mercury. The tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, maybe, is renowned for its alleged rivers. It's alleged. We all know it's there. They just want us to think it's not. It's alleged rivers of mercury used to simulate water features within an unexcavated underground palace. Ancient texts and modern tests confirm high mercury concentrations, creating toxic, hazardous environment. The tomb remains closed to preserve artifacts and ensure safety. It's apparently literally just like filled with liquid mercury to the point where if they open it, they're worried that like people are just going to die. So they've left it sealed. Honestly, yeah. Was he crazy or was he just eccentric? I think eccentric. Am I crazy? I don't think I'm rich enough to be eccentric yet. I think right now I'm still crazy, but one day I want to be eccentric. Okay. I have something to work towards. Long-term goals, you know? Yeah. You have to have goals, a vision board, effectively. That's what you have to shoot for. Anyway, yeah, pyramids were built to die well. Yeah, people were dying to get in there. If that he's crazy, fair. Dude, I may unironically have bronchitis. I think I'm actually in trouble. I think I actually need to go to the doctor. I can't breathe. It's bad. I don't feel sick. It's just my lungs aren't happy. My lungs are mad at me. Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah. My I don't know why pyramids made me think of this. You guys know like timeshares, that whole thing. Timeshares are commonly referred to as like a scam, or at the very least, they are pitched in scammy ways. So for some select people, timeshares can make sense. That is true. But overwhelmingly, they are sold to people who probably should not be getting one. And it's sold like to somebody on a Disney vacation. They lock him in there and it's like, it's a whole thing. Nikki has a friend who does finance stuff and was like, you need to troll Luke. Go and like text him out of the blue and just be like, hey, so I signed us up for this thing called a timeshare. And I think it'd be really, really funny. Or not really funny, really fun. And I think we should, you know, maybe start scheduling our first trips out there. We have a like 20-year commitment. And she didn't do it. She didn't do it. But dude, she told me about it. I was like, dude, I would have crashed out. If you had actually done that, I would have crashed out. You're like, yeah, just impulsively sign up for a timeshare. It's only a 20-year commitment. It'll be fine. It was crazy. What is a timeshare? Basically, like, look at the Disney ones. You basically pay a lump sum up front and then pay regular fees to have the rights to go to a certain, sometimes it's a house, sometimes it's a resort, condo, whatever. But in this case, it's a condo. So you buy the rights to go to this condo like for 7 days, once a year. So you buy a share of the time that condo is available and you reserve that time. And they're like, hypothetically, you save money in like 10, 15 years because, you know, compared to regularly just paying for the resort. But the only way that it can make sense is if you are spending the money to do that like every single year for 10 years straight. Otherwise, it doesn't make money because they raise the prices on it and you can't usually liquidate it or sell your share to anybody. Like, because it's literally a liability. You're selling somebody something. If I sold you a timeshare I bought, you would then be on the hook to pay into it every year. So people don't tend to want to buy something that they have to spend money on regularly unless it's a boat. So, or a Jeep, I've heard. So you can't sell it. Like, people will get a Disney timeshare and they try to sell it for $1 and they can't. Because people don't want to have to sign up for something, buy something for $1 that they then have to spend hundreds on, you know, every year, or thousands on every year. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work. So, yeah, there's a reason timeshares rely on like aggressive sales tactics to get you into it. If something, the rule of thumb is if something makes sense, the salesman will not have to be hyper aggressive. You know, like if the product is good, they don't need to try that hard. You know, it's the same thing with like, you know, Rolex. Those salesmen, they don't give a crap if you come in to buy it or not, because they're good. They're good. They know what they have, and they know that the rich guy is going to come in and buy the watch anyways. So if you're coming in here and you're like, will you negotiate with me? They're like, I don't care. No, stop. Like, they'll just shut you down. Yeah. Anyway. This timeshare is cool if you're using someone else's. Yeah, like I said, for some people it can make sense. For some people, timeshares can make sense. For a lot of people, it can't. I did a deal with a guy. We sold he had a triplex and we sold it for him and it was awesome. But this poor guy was locked into a timeshare from like 15 years before and it just flooded his credit and it was just a lead weight around his neck financially, and he could not get out of it. It was really, really tough. Felt bad for the guy because he couldn't get out of it. It was like, what are you going to do? He couldn't sell it. It wasn't like a Disney one. It was like some random thing in the Florida Keys, and you know, the place probably doesn't even exist. You know, it's just a mess. Yeah, it's just felt bad, but there's nothing you could do. Oh, my lungs. Syntist, thank you again. I'm sorry, it cleared off your name and now it's just popping up with that. Thank you though. 24 months. Ooh, bay a bee. That gets 3 booms. Everyone in chat, do it with me. Boom. 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 Just for you. Just for you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. 24 months. Ooh, baby. It flies by. Flies by when you're having fun, doesn't it? Flies by. Ooh. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Hellish Hands, also thank you for the 5. The new Xbox CEO, who's head of AI, did an announcement about bringing Copilot to Xbox. The Xbox, what did they call it? They had a name for it. I think it was just Gaming Copilot is what they called it. Gaming Copilot. And they've talked about this before. This was like the beta thing that they started talking about like a few months ago, I think. But yeah, it's like you ask Copilot, what are tips for me to start playing? Recommendations based on my play history? Like, I don't realistically think anybody's going to use this, but you never know. Give me tips on defeating the final boss. Maybe people will use that. I don't know. This is a very Microsoft thing. Shove it everywhere. Put Copilot in everything. It'll be fine. So, yeah, I'm not surprised, frankly. Not surprised. It's just Google Assistant. Worse, it's Copilot. It's Copilot. Even worse. My grandparents had a timeshare to vacation home, and it was so cool when I was a kid because for me, it was just a super nice vacation we took every year. I only just recently learned what it was. Yeah. Well, it's, again, like, for them, maybe it made sense. Maybe it did make sense. The key is that in order for a timeshare to truly make sense, you have to buy into it. You have to have enough money where that's not a big deal. The Disney ones, I think the down payments are like $40,000. Okay. Like, it's not a small sum. You have to like come up with 40 grand, put that down, and then you still are paying into it every year. So if you're going into class or into vacation every single year, after 10 years, you will save money if you go every single year. But if you skip a year, it doesn't pay for itself, right? So like, and even then you're saving a little bit, like, and I hate to be that guy. If you put that $40,000 into the stock market and still went on vacation every single year and just let that 40K grow instead of sitting in Disney's coffers, like the math is not even close. You will end up way farther ahead if you use that 40 grand to invest and then pay out of pocket for the vacations every year. You know, you'd lose it all. Hopefully not. Don't, to be clear, when I say invest, I don't mean crypto. Don't, for the love of God, don't do crypto. Just don't. This conversation is still beyond my tax bracket. Well, that's the really sucky thing about the timeshare stuff is that they specifically target like lower income individuals, because they know that typically if you have more money, you might be more financially experienced or financially savvy or sophisticated or whatever you want to call it, and you're less likely to fall for their pushiness, you know. So anyway, crypto bad. Crypto is just extremely volatile, and if you're trying to build something, volatility is fun for gambling. It's not that fun for like life savings and like kids' college funds. So I would hazard against crypto personally. I told you guys, I was like, no, you couldn't pay me to hold crypto in my portfolio, and then it dropped from like 125,000 down to 65. I was like, see. And now it's climbing back up, but no doubt it'll drop back down. You know, it just, there's, I think, better, more reliable places, you know. But if you know what you're doing, go for crypto, do what you need to do. But I'm not going to touch it. Stable coins are highly volatile. Everything else is gambling / getting scammed. Yeah, no, I mean, it's like literally crypto rug pulls are kind of omnipresent. But Anywho, have you played the Pirate Survival game Windrose? Yes, I've downloaded it. I'm not like particularly far in it, but yes, I do have it downloaded. I have been working through it a little bit. So yeah, It came out at a perfect time, right as we're all talking about Black Flag remake. Like this thing comes along. It's crazy. Now announcing Luke Stevens coin. Please no. I would do some like Todd coin if I was going to do it. But there's no way to do a meme coin without it being a scam as far as I can tell. Like, in order to launch it, it's going to get rug pulled. Like somebody's going to do it. Whether it's you or somebody else, somebody's going to do it. And so it's just not something I want to touch. Just don't want to mess with it. Excuse me. Anyway, with what's this new Black Flag news? Is it actually new news or is it the same stuff? Oh, look, Corey. What a small world. I follow Anthony on Twitter. Used to work at Naughty Dog. Extremely excited and could be happy to announce that I'm back in January. I joined the world-renowned team at Santa Monica Studios. A true full circle moment from playing the original God of War on launch to joining the studio all these years later. Look at that. That's crazy. That's awesome. A small world. That's crazy. Oh, maybe you're talking about this thing. I bet you're talking about this thing that just happened. Yeah, we did just talk about that. We did. Okay. I am going to call it there, guys. I'm going to call it there. Because my lungs are giving up. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you for chilling with me. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you guys. This was a joy, a pleasure. Truly, I appreciate all of you guys. Stop talking, go rest. I will, Meta. I appreciate you. I'll go do that. You guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back on Monday with no doubt plenty to talk about, and it'll be great. Okay, so have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the weather, dude. It's snowing here. Not even joking. It's April 17th and it's snowing. I don't know what happened, but it's crazy. Small. I guess the lady at the bath, or the bath landscaping place that we went to, she was like, careful, because there's some cold fronts blowing in. I was like, sure. She was right. It's freaking snowing. So anyway, go to a doctor. I probably should get like an inhaler or something, or steroids or whatever they give you when you have bronchitis. I don't even know. But anyway, thank you for chilling with me, guys. Appreciate you. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the weather. I'm sure it's better where you are compared to where I am. So enjoy the weather. Have a wonderful time. I will see you on Monday. Much love, everybody. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye. Mwah.